Canada on the other side of the pond, don't we? And what a magnificent racetrack this is. And to be honest, that is very well timed as well. I'm pretty proud of myself. As you can see, we're already getting straight into qualifying because I'm slightly late, which is nothing unusual. So anyway, but before we get cracking, let's just quickly do the old sharing the stream and stuff, and just making sure that everyone is everyone can watch. And of course, all about self-promotion and stuff, isn't it? Yeah, but Canada, one of the best races, you'll ever get to race, drive on, and witness. You can name all sorts of epic Canadian Grand Prix, can't you? Like off the literally off the well, you can just list them, can't you? Really, I can name a few already. Canada 2010, of course, that was the idea of where these tires, where the tires kept getting degraded came from, really, wasn't it? It was that was where the idea initially came from, really. So yeah, blame that. But to us, that was an epic race. 2010 was fantastic stuff. Of course, 2008 as well, where Robert Kubica won his one and only Grand Prix, didn't he, back then? And when it was also Sauber BMW's one and only win as well. But not only that, they also got a 1-2 as well, didn't they? And you can see we've got cars out on the track now. And so we're straight onto this, and we've got Renzo in the Irishman in the racing point. Had an absolutely fantastic race, didn't he, last time out in Monaco in the first half. Unfortunately, it unravelled a bit, didn't it, towards the second part of the race there. But hopefully he can bounce back and really become a factor in the get himself back on it. We've got a couple of cars out already. It's great to see 18 drivers on there. You might not recognise a couple of these drivers, so let's just go. Well, if you're not an avid fan of league racing, you might not recognise some of these drivers, but there are a lot of good caliber drivers in here tonight, isn't there? This is going to be epic stuff. Of course, we have got making their debuts tonight. We got Fireshot Ryan, of course. He is of course, I think I commentated on one of the races he was involved in midweek, and he is absolutely a fantastic driver. Of course, Grillsy, who was a full-time driver, became a reserve, didn't he? And he is now, but he will also be out there and really showing his worth there. We've got Wishbone making his ALR debut. Wishbone is, and of course his caliber cannot really be underestimated at all. Fantastic driver Wishbone is, a very experienced league racer as well, so he's going to be in the mix, isn't he, later on today? Of course, Sam making his second race appearance. He drove in Monaco, didn't he? And of course, we've also got Maxi as well in the Mercedes tonight. So yeah, got a lot of good drivers out there at the moment, haven't we? So this is looking very yeah, this is going to be an absolute epic race, isn't it? And talking of epic, I've just got a couple of comments already in the section showing what that means. Something's going to go down in Alpine. It's the weather, isn't it? Jonathan Cox says, good evening, Sean. Rain in the race. Oh, excellent. And there's also rain in qualifying as well. That's fantastic to hear. Well, from my point of view, not for any drivers. Of course, Granty Boy also in the comments as well. Hello, Sean. Hope you've had a good weekend. Shame it's sunny in England, but rain in Canada. Rain in Canada tonight. I'm loving this. And yeah, of course, Nigel's also said rain in Canada as well. On board Silent Shifting then. So they got talking to shift. They got to get out there quite quickly, haven't they? Silent Shifting then has just gone. The fin has gone into a 109 straight away. A very good time there from Silent Shifting. Renzo has done a 10.4. This is absolutely fantastic time straight away here in Canada. They haven't got no time. Wait, McVicious is out of qualifying, and that is a big blow for McVicious, isn't it? And I think he's gone into the Wall of Champions. We're on board Sam now, of course, making his second league appearance tonight, isn't he, in the Mercedes? But yeah, that's a big blow, isn't it? And just on board, yes, he's gone to the Wall of Champions. He is the first victim. Oh my gosh, and Sam almost went into him there. And wow, absolutely. Well, that's a bad starter from McVicious, so he will be at the back of the field almost. Let's run on board Sam now. We're on board now, going into turn 2 in the hairpin, accelerating away now as we're coming up into turn 3 and 4. You remember, you've got to have a this is where you kind of get a couple of penalties here. You can see that's kind of like a mini World Champions, isn't it? In turn 5 and 6, Panis broke his legs there in 97, didn't they? I mentioned that quite a lot because it's an awful crash to witness. It really is. Now into coming on the back straight. Remember, this track has 3 DRS zones around here. And now into turn 9 and 10, and under the bridge you brake down into 4th gear, accelerate away. The second part of the chicane there is not really a braking zone, so you just continue a lovely shot here again on board Sam. Now into the turn 11 hairpin here. We've had some epic battles down here over the years. Herbert and Hakkinen tangled there in 95, I believe. accelerating away now, and we're coming up to turn 13 and 14. This is where it can all make or break. Unfortunately for Dave, he is out, and he's just put in the comments, for God's sake, there, and I think that's a but don't worry, Dave, it's going to be a wet race, so it's going to be absolutely epic stuff. Yo, flagging free as well, but Sam comes across the line, and Nigel, of course, last time's winner, he is third at the moment. But what does Sam do? Sam goes 5th fastest on 11.9 at the moment, so we've got to get themselves out there straight away. So as you can see, Dan Murphy making a return now. Of course, he didn't race in Monaco, did he? And he hasn't been on the game for a couple of weeks, has he? So for 2 weeks, he was saying. So yeah, Dan is going to be a bit rusty, isn't he? But we'll see how he gets on. Emerson is currently, out of the 3 races he's entered in, he is 2 out of 3 wins, and he's been on the podium in all his ALR career. Similar stats out Nigel was when he first started. Dan goes second at the moment, so I think he was bluffing about not being on the game, being a bit rusty. Nigel, the Monaco winner, is 4th at the moment. We got Sam out there at the moment. Fireshot is out there. We got someone who's right behind Sam. What about Jonathan? Jonathan has been racing like a madman lately, hasn't he? As he's into the 0.9 at the moment. Yeah, he's second at the moment, but Jonathan has been practicing like a madman over the last couple of days, absolutely flying. His average lap time has been a 109, hasn't it? And so that is a very phenomenal pace in the race, isn't it? As Nosey then at the moment is just starting his lap, but Gunner's out there at the moment, farthest in the pits. We got Granty Boy, who is just trying to get out of the way, I think. Grillsy then, and of course at the moment Grillsy has only started this season. He has only started 1 race, I believe. He has the season he has, which was back in Australia. But and he's in the pits now. What about Maxi then? Maxi making his debut tonight, isn't he? And he's in the Mercedes as well. The regular duo, the Mercedes, of course. Twang is starting a new adventure, isn't he? So unfortunately for Twang, will not be racing much so, but he's been put down as a reserve now, which is a shame for Twang, because he had an absolutely epic start to the season, hasn't he? Really has. Impressive stuff for Twang. Of course, Bowden, his teammate, unfortunately the Team Norway Racing team has actually been split up, hasn't it? Which is unfortunate, because they was a very strong team, weren't they, at the beginning of the season? And here comes Nosey, talking of a strong driver. What's he doing as he comes across the line? He does a 9.6 there, so Nosey is second at the moment. Remember, these guys have got to come out there. It's got to come out the blocks fairly quickly. Just taking a look, see how Gunner's out there at the moment. But what about Wishbone? Of course, making his ALR debut. But everyone who follows league racing knows about Wishbone's caliber. So it's great to see. Great to have Wishbone on board with us, and hope let's see what he can do. He goes flying into the 9 straight away. 9.3 there for Wishbone, and he is second at the moment. Just take a crazy hitman out there. Gunner is about to start us up. We've also got Granty Boy just coming up across the line now. So where's Granty Boy going? Laggy Racer has joined, and of course Laggy Racer unfortunately will not be able to take part in the qualifying, but he will be involved in the racing. So we've got almost a full grid. This is the most drivers we've had on the grid this season, so fantastic. Great stuff for everyone joining us tonight. Brilliant stuff. We're just watching Gunner now out there, so he's on the fast lap. Behind him is the Toro Rosso, a Grillsy, I believe. So what is Gunner going to do? Of course, and Gunner, I think he's just getting out of the way there, so I'm wondering if he made a mistake earlier on the lap, so he's abandoned that lap and it's going to go again. So yeah, it's just on board Grills then. We've got flagging one. Don't worry, it's just guys, I think they're just trying to get out of the way. So Emerson has not done a very competitive opening lap, has he? Of course, Emerson has been the class, hasn't he? The field, really, since he's joined in Baku, his debut. Won that race. Spain, his second race. Won that race. Monaco. Well, we could say that Nosey cost him that win in Monaco, but then again, Nigel's on an alternative strategy, wasn't he? So yeah, anything could have happened in that race, but yeah, Nosey didn't make it easy for him, did he? But an absolutely epic battle between Nosey and, but to be honest, that's Monaco, isn't it, really? But an absolutely epic battle between Nosey and Emerson in Monaco. It was brilliant to watch. Really good stuff indeed. And yeah, so yeah, but Emerson then, of course, but he was second in Monaco still, wasn't he? So 3 podiums in 3 starts for Emerson. So is he going to be able to continue that run? As we said though, Nigel, our first champion, they had stats like that, didn't he? And now Renzo comes across the line and he goes up into 8th position. Renzo's getting quicker and quicker every week, so I'm really looking. Oh, we had a car just vanish there. So just taking a look to see how it's out there. So here's Fireshot now. He's making his ALR debut as well in the Williams. So let's see how well he does. And of course, Fireshot is he was looking very good. Now as Laggy Racer has just confirmed he's back. He won't be able to take part in qualifying, but he will be back in time for the race then. So And to be honest, because it looks like it's as we've said before, it's going to be raining in the race, and it's also might be raining qualifying fairly soon. That's why these guys are out there straight away. Branty's retired from the session. So in Q1, what we are looking to line up the 3 slowest cars in here. So Lagui 19th. And then looks like Movicious unfortunately be 18th, but 17th and 16th we are aiming to find out. Oh, and a fire shot there, getting it all wrong out of the turn 14 there, but he's still in the. Oh, I think he must have invalidated his time there. Back on board then with Grillsy. Then at the moment he is in the Toros over standing for Elite this weekend. So. As Elite is enjoying his holiday, isn't he? But he will be back, won't he? And Elite's had a very good start to the season as well, indeed. As Laggy's asked if he can join the comms box. Unfortunately, not at the moment, mate, because yeah, yeah, not at the moment because yeah, I've had to set the party to private because of yeah, I've had a couple of randomers join me as of late in a couple of other leagues I've commentated in. So yeah, they've been asking why I've not been playing FIFA and stuff like that. Well, because I'm not very good at FIFA, I must say. But yes. Anyway, Grillsy then coming down the back straight now, and I think he's abandoning that coming in the pits. Look at how dull it's gone already. Then Crazy Hitman is now into the hairpin now, and accelerating away. Car 97 accelerating away now, and is coming up into. Now into 13 and 14 now on the back straight, and let's see what's he gonna do. Crazy Hitman then coming down into 13 and 14 with just 7 minutes to go. Look at that, the cloud cover around here then, and I think Jonathan Cox, who I was talking to earlier, actually, he's gonna be absolutely devastated, isn't he, if it's gonna be raining in the race. Crazy Hitman does 11.5 at the moment. That's the slowest of the times out there. What about Farf? I must admit, Farf, I was talking to Farf earlier today, and I was jokingly said that he probably will want to start from the back of the grid, doesn't he? Because he seems like he enjoys starting from the back, doesn't he? I reckon he just likes the Driver of the Day award, don't he? He just he likes to steal the show. Farf does. Absolutely flies, doesn't he? Farf does from the back of the grid. I think when he raced here the other day, phenomenal. He started 18th or 17th. We got rain, I think. We have got rain, and now who is in trouble? Grillsy's in trouble. Fireshot's in trouble. We've also got Farf and Gunnar out there as well. The moment Gunnar, I think, is just about to start his time now, but this is not good at all because Grillsy and Fireshot are in the pit and won't be able to set a time at the moment. And Grillsy has unfortunately dropped out of the session, so someone needs to invite him back in quickly because I wonder if he had the sound issue, because of course we've had Jonathan has suffered from the sound issue as well recently. Just under 5 minutes to go, so we might be robbed of a really good end to this qualifying, well, the end to this Q1 session. But what about Gunnar? Is he going to be able to sneak through? He just has to complete a time, I think. Fireshot's out of the pits now, and he goes into 14th position at the moment. He is the slowest of runners, and I think Farf has snuck up into 12th position. Fireshot's out at the moment. Grillsy is not out there. It's not in the. He needs to get back in this session fairly quickly. So out of qualifying moments, it's Ryan, it's Grillsy, and it's Mugvicious. So yeah, this we got a couple of big names in that dropout. So, unfortunately, Grillsy's back in the session now, but I think it might be too late for Grillsy. Mugvicious is out, Grillsy is out, and at the moment Fireshot is out as well. Got a yellow flag in 2. DRS has been disabled. This rain has come absolutely out of nowhere, hasn't it? If anyone remembers the 2011 race, which the rain just it was threatening to rain, wasn't it, on and off, and then all of a sudden it just bucketed down, didn't it? And it was actually looked like a swimming pool, didn't it, down in turn. Oh, and look at that, how perilous that and Fireshot. Look at that, that's a lot of rain very quickly on indeed in this session, and he's trying to get himself back into the pits now, and unfortunately I think that's the end of the session then. So out of qualifying is Fireshot and Grillsy and Mugvicious. Those are massive names to get knocked out of Q1, isn't it, in this session? If you ask me for a prediction, I wouldn't have predicted those 3 drivers. To be honest, I always get my predictions wrong anyway. But this is a lot of rain quite early on, so we're gonna have some torrential rain. Yeah. So yeah, it's all turned on its head, hasn't it? Really shocking stuff. Here, as I just having a quick look, as Silent Shiffman said, rain races goodbye points, unfortunately, and. Also, laggy racer, no, light rain or race, apparently. So yeah, there's a lot of disgruntled drivers in there at the moment, as by the sounds of it. But this rain has come out of absolutely nowhere, and unfortunately for you guys, you've now got 3.5 minutes of me talking absolute rubbish to you. So yeah, so I think this is a good time for you to have a coffee, isn't it, or something like that. Nigel's out there on the soft compound tyres at the moment. Look at that rain. That is awful amount of rain so early on. And well, Nigel was out on track. If I just dreamt that, I hope not. I hope we're all used to that as well. And yeah, a huge downpour in a few minutes. Wets, full wets as possible. I definitely believe that. That's from Jonathan Cox. I definitely believe that, because this rain has just come out of absolute nowhere, hasn't it? Look at it. It's awful around here at the moment. You remember, we started off qualifying 4 wets already for Wishbone, and look at Fireshot there. It's out at the pits now, so I think that I wonder if he's just trying to get some wet weather running, going in. Then is going in, getting ready for the race, because it looks like it's going to be wet in the race as well. This is fantastic for me. Unfortunately, not for any of these 19 drivers out there. So yeah, but I'm a bit selfish. And so let's go and let's have a quick look to see what's. Let's just have a look at the running order then. So Silent Shift's out there straight away. He's fast at the moment. Of course, he won this race earlier on the week, so he's looking very strong, isn't it? Unfortunately for Silent Shift in this season, he has either been on top of. Unfortunately for Silent Shift in this season, he has either won a race or has not finished, has he? So he needs to. So hopefully for his grills. Oh, and look, Fireshot there, almost getting it a bit sideways here. And he's not. Let's go on board then with Fireshot, and he's going to just go around then, and he's just going to go around there. Look how difficult it is on the wet compound. On the wet, sorry, not the wet. They're intermediates. So remember, the intermediates are like the shallow groove tires, and might even have the deep groove tires as well. I think it's like 25 centimeters deep, isn't it? The groove tires or something on the intermediate tires, and I think it's 60. No, I think it's millimeters, isn't it? Not centimeters. Yeah, I think it's 25 25 millimeters on the intermediate tires, and 60 millimeters on the wets. That's how deep the groove tires are. So in that shifts, how much? I can't remember how much water it shifts now. But yeah, and Fireshot is out of qualifying. That's a big blow for Fireshot, but we're going to have an interesting race. So to go for the field, and Grillsy there, he's gone very wide in the turn 1 there. So yeah, it's a big blow for all the guys out there, isn't it? Really, that will never set a time. Anyway, yeah, Silent Shift in then is it's fastest. Wishbone is 2nd, 3rd is Nosey, Granty in 4th, Emerson 5th, Jonathan Cox is 6th, Murphy 7th, Maxie in 8th, Renzo 9th, Mr. Elite in 10th edition. We've got Nigel 11th, Farf is in 12th, 13th is Sam, Hitman is 14th, we've got Gooner in 15th. The guys that haven't gone through, unfortunately, is the guys that haven't gone through is the guys that haven't set a time. So it's Fireshot, who hasn't set a time. It's Grillsy, who also hasn't set a time, and McVicious also hasn't set a time either. So that's a big shame for those guys. They didn't really get a chance to really show what they can do around here as well. And that might be the only dry running we're going to have this weekend in Canada, because by the sounds of the wet weather, it has been absolutely by the sounds of the drivers and giving us the weather forecast, it has been absolutely. It's going to be an absolutely appalling wet weather race, isn't it? We're on board Sam. Oh, he's in the wall. He's in the wall out of turn 4 there, and that is not good at all for. That's not good at all for Sam there. But remember, Sam very new to the league racing scene, isn't he? Car 69. I think he's taking over the same number that Bowden did, didn't he? In the other Mercedes, of course. Bowden not here this weekend. But yeah, Sam, of course, just new to league racing, and unfortunately, his Monaco weekend was cut fairly short. But it's one of the most difficult races you can start your league career on, isn't it, in Monaco? So, yeah, you need as much track time out there as possible for Sam. And look at this, then the wet weather is just atrocious. As I'll have a look at the yeah, absolutely appalling. To be honest, what I haven't gone through yet is the actual driver standings after Monaco. And to be honest, it's probably one of the most important things really that I should do, shouldn't I, really? Anyway, Sam come through, and look at this, and he is over he is over 11 seconds slower than his dry weather time now, so that it just shows how difficult the track is. But congratulations to Sam, he has advanced through to Q2. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed. And let's just take a quick look then, and I'm up to XP 16, fantastic. So yeah, that was really the end result of qualifying, really, wasn't it? That's a big shame for the guys down there, down the bottom then. So out of qualifying is Laggy. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get in the session and quickly enough. We've also got McVicious sent out as well. He hit the wall of champions. We've got Grillsy and Farshot, who didn't set times either. So those are the 4 guys that have been eliminated so far. So in the Drivers' Championship, what have we got? We have got Farf, who is currently top of the tree at the moment on 74 points. But look at how it's bunched right up so much now. And then 3 points back is Granty. Then 4 points back is Nosey. And then 5 points back is Emerson. That is incredible. That is the top 4 at the moment. How close can you be? That's absolutely epic. Jonathan Cox then is at 5th position. But he made a big jump in Monaco. Dan Murphy dropping down to 6th position. Twang down 7th now. That just shows how good Twang was at the beginning of the season. Nigel has jumped up a huge amount of positions, hasn't he? He's done a really good job, and he's got himself up to 33 points now. Really good job, Monaco. Mr. Elite is 9th at the moment, and 10th is Bowden. So that's the top 10 in the Constructors' Championship. We have it's got very close now. Toro Rosso now leads the Constructors' Championship by 2 points from Red Bull. Red Bull have had a commanding, have had quite a stranglehold, haven't they, over ALR since we started. But yeah, Red Bull have been knocked off their perch at the moment. Haas is third at the moment. They've jumped up several positions, as is Racing Point as well. Mercedes has dropped down to 5th position. Ferrari and Renault maintain 6th and 7th. Alfa Romeo also jumping up to 8th then. Williams down to 9th. And McLaren are at the moment at the bottom of the standings currently. And Renzo's off the track. Renzo is off the track. He's gone. He's far from left the session. Hopefully he'll come back in a minute. But Renzo, this is perilous. Oh my gosh, he's almost into the Renault there, and it's all going off there. And Renzo, the Irishman there, really having all sorts of difficulties there. We're right on the intermediate tyres straight away. We're going to lose 5 drivers here then in the session. As oh my gosh, this is wow, this is absolutely action-packed, isn't it? Qualifying is. I think I was saying to Jonathan the other day. I think I was saying to Jonathan earlier on, actually. I must admit, I've been very social today, which is very unlike me, especially on the Sunday. I think it's because it's a bank holiday. Usually I just, I hide away. I'm nice in the week. I can't be nice. I can't be nice all the time. So I'm usually use all my niceness. And Mr. Leaks gone wide. Use all my niceness, don't I, for 9 till 5 work, and then yeah, and then I just carry on and then forget the world. Anyway, yeah, just on board Gooner at the moment, and just I'll come to the comments in a minute. I apologise. I've been this qualifying session has been absolutely immense so far. We're losing 5 drivers in this session. Yeah, I was talking to Jonathan earlier on, and was it Jonathan? Oh yeah, I think I was saying that. Yeah, hopefully, if it's a quiet quality session, then unfortunately you're going to hear me yapping away about the classic old Canadian Grand Prix. But unfortunately, well, fortunately for you guys, unfortunately for me, I haven't been able to do that yet. We're on board Nigel. He's the first one to go through. It is very wet out there at the moment. And it is very wet indeed there. It's awful conditions out on the track at the moment, isn't it? Is it still intermediate conditions, or is it going to or is it going to have to go to wet tires? I mean, well, we'll find out. Maybe we've got 12 minutes to go. Let's take a quick look under the comment section at the moment, as just have a look. I'm way behind now, and Grant T has just said, unfortunately for the guys that can't get a lap in now, the rain is horrendous. And yeah, it's Silent saying he needs to redeem himself. He can't get a DNF, can he? Because as we said, he's basically all or nothing at the moment in the so far this season. As we've also got we'll try my best and have all of us have a dry setup. Lag Racer, sorry for pushing it. Can I get an invite in the commentary box? And I will in a second. It's been all sorts going on in a minute. Emerson is done at 21, and Farfizz needs to get back in, guys. I don't think I can invite people in the sorry, yeah, this isn't good, isn't it? Okay, yeah, I don't think I can invite people when they come back in. Sorry, guys, bear with me 1 second. Yeah, can I? I don't think I can invite anyone into the session here. 1 second. Yep. No. Anyway, all you're seeing in the background there is where is Farf? Has he unfriended me? How rude! No, I think he's I don't think I can see him online. But yeah, unfortunately I can't. Someone needs to invite Farf into the session as quickly as possible. Let's just take a rain check. And I didn't mean, and to be honest, that was an unintentional pun there. Silent Shifting is once again top of the table at the moment on a 19.8. Second is Nosey at 20.1. Then we got Wishbone in third position at 23. Granty is fourth. Grillsy has left the session. Hopefully he'll come back in soon. Fifth position is Nigel. Dan Murphy in sixth. Then we got Gooner right up there in seventh. He's loving the wet conditions, isn't he? Emerson eighth. Mr. Elite ninth. Jonathan Cox is 10th. And Silent Shifting's gone right off the track there. He's almost in the Hamilton there, if you remember back when I think it was one of the practice sessions. Renzo's in 12th. Crazy at Man's 11th. So at the moment, just taking a look to see what's going on out there. Laggy Racer has joined me in the commentary box as we're going to have a 5 or 10 minute chat with Laggy Racer. Hopefully, if we ever get a chance. But we'll talk about his experience in a minute. Before we do that, because Sam comes across the line, he's done 25 at the moment. I've seen a. Renzo's back at the pits now. We need, hopefully, whoever's in the pits and listen to me yap on and yap on and yap on, that someone can give Farf an invite. And also, could we, Fire Shot Ryan has just said that was my luck. That's unfortunate for Ryan Shot making his debut, and he's unfortunately already having issues. So, Laggy, welcome to the commentary box. How's it going today?
It's going very good. I had 2 very good league races just before this.
So what? From that experience, what are you expecting then this weekend? What is your aim? I know you're going to be like 19th on the grid, but where it's a wet race, anything can happen. What is your expectations from there?
I'm not so good in the rain, so I'll try my best to make any gains. But mostly there's carnage in the race, so hopefully I can gain positions from there.
I was going to say, you just got to kind of keep yourself. Laggy Racer's left me. I think he's had enough of me already. That's a record, I think. 1 minute, I think he was in. And Laggy has actually left the session. So that's unfortunate for Laggy then. But Jonathan Cox has left the session as well. Hopefully I haven't got a mass disconnect here. Because that is going to be a big blow, isn't it? So Laggy is left as well, just on board Nigel at the moment. So the guys in the guys that are in the drop zone at the moment, we have Renzo, who is just coming through sector 1. Farf is back in the session. He is raring to go, isn't he? And let's see what he can do. But we'll keep an eye on Farf. How bad is the track conditions out there? Is the rain getting worse? So at the moment, Crazy Hitman and Sam are all in the drop zone. The man that's there's a 2-second gap, but that just shows how difficult the conditions are. Jonathan Cox has unfortunately got a sound issue again, which is actually really annoying because you need to hear the shifts, don't you? To shift up and down the gears, really. So that is not ideal at all for Jonathan, because he's had that a couple of times this season, hasn't he? Jonathan has. So hopefully he can get him. Hopefully won't affect his race too much. Renzo is just coming around the hairpin now, and he's accelerating. We got yellow flagging free. I think it's just someone just trying to get out of the way then. So as on board then with Renzo, and he is in 13th position at the moment. Of course, he hasn't set time yet, but he's powering up to the line. And of course, he had a bit of an adventure, didn't he, on his opening lap out of the pits. So he's got to hit the brake markers now. Look at that. Look how tentative he has to be on the accelerator and the brakes. He can't touch those white lines. Those white lines are very slippery. What does Renzo do? He stops himself into a length at the moment, so he's not very far away. And Sam improves as well to a 22.9 there. So Sam is getting quicker and quicker on the intermediate tires, isn't he? So he's really starting to push the envelope here. And what about Farf? He is in 5th position, and so Farf are doing an absolutely fantastic job. And Jonathan is back up and running now, and I think all tight, and I think that is just what he needs then. And yeah, so Jonathan now needs to get himself back in, because he's out of qualifying at the moment. He's out of Q2. He needs to kind of, and we've got yellow flagging too there. Laggy has come and gone again, so hopefully Laggy can get himself sorted. We've got a racing point in the run-off area there in turn 7, I think it is, and he's just getting out of the way there. So good awareness there. What about Emerson at the moment? He's 0.2 of a second up at the moment. Emerson is he? I wonder if he's just floating under the radar at the moment. Emerson is, and just trying to look for the back. It was going to overtake the front end there. Here's the Haas driver now. Comes across the line. I tell you what, he has been absolutely fantastic since joining ALR. And of course, remember, Emerson is a very new to the league racing scene, isn't he? So he could potentially be the like one of the next Schumacher kind of driver, can he? Kimi Räikkönen and Schumacher, where they haven't got very much experience in the open wheel and the open cockpit category, but they've just took to it like a duck to water, and that was a pun because it's raining. So yeah, Maxi hasn't set a time yet, so let's just watch Maxi. Crazy Hitman hasn't set a time either, nor has yes, they have set a time, but they need to get themselves on the board at the moment. Jonathan Cox coming through the final chicane now, and he hits his marks beautifully well. Jonathan does, accelerating to the line now. Look at this rain; it's absolutely torrential. It's absolutely cracking stuff. How they're driving around at the moment on these. Oh no, that's Sam in the wall. Sam is in the wall in I think that's turn 9, isn't it? I'm not sure actually where that is, but that is where is it? Just accelerating away now, and his turn 8 and 9 now. And wow, so Sam is damaged. He's got 5 minutes to get himself in and back out the pits at the moment. Crazy is all over the shot at the moment, and Maxi hasn't set a time yet either. 4 3/4 minutes to go. Jonathan out on track at the moment. Renzo's back in the pit, so he's just getting himself sorted and ready to get back out. Or Sam is going to have to come. I wonder if he can put on a fresh set of winter tires and see if he can go for an all-out lap there. At the moment, Crazy Man is you see, we just seen him on board the nose there, having all sorts of issues out there. Maxi, oh, look at that! The car is trying to the back end again, trying to overtake the front. What does he do? This is good. Oh no, it ain't good, because he's going to have to. He's unfortunately he invalidated his time. What if he did it on the final lap? Oh, sector, I mean, and Crazy's in the wall. Crazy is in the wall. And he doesn't improve his time at the moment. John Cox is out there as well. He's just on the back straight. Laggy is joining me back in the commentary box then. Yeah, so Laggy, in terms of these wet weather conditions, how much difficult is it to drive these cars around here? Crazy is out of the qualifying, so he's the first man to go. Yeah, as Jonathan Cox is back in 10th position, only just by a 10th of a second. Oh my gosh. Deep breath. And so, yeah, Laggy, how much more difficult is it to drive in these wet weather conditions?
It's very hard to drive in these conditions. You have to be very careful on the power to not lose rear or put it in a wall, so you have to be very careful.
Indeed you do, don't you? And these cars have got a lot of torque, haven't they? So you can't, of course, since we've gone to the turbo era, these cars you've got to be very careful on the throttle, haven't you? Is now we'll come back to Laggy in a minute, because there's all sorts going on out there. Knowles is retired from the session, but he is still, I think he's retired the car in the pits. So, and Maxi's back in the pits. We've just got 180 seconds to go, there or thereabouts. So, yeah, it's what was Jonathan doing? He is not doing well, I was going to say he isn't doing much, but he kind of is, isn't he, really? He's out there fighting the car, isn't he? Gunnar is on a lap at the moment, and so is Nigel at the moment in 7th position. Absolutely fabulous stuff out there. And, ooh, blimey. And, yeah, yeah, you're racing Monaco a couple of weeks ago. Let's just have, what was your, how did you find that race? Was you happy with that race? Oh, Renzo's out of qualifying, so that's 2 guys out. We've only got 3 more to go. So yeah, in Monaco, how was your race in Monaco? Were you happy with the end result? Oh, it was a very difficult race, wasn't it?
Yeah, the end result was okay. I'm happy I got points, but it could have been much more if it wasn't for some incidents. It was mostly my fault, but at the end, 1 point is what I'm happy with.
And John, it's a point at the end of the day, and that could come very much help you in the constructors later on as well. And we've just seen Renzo in the World Champions, so that's the 2nd car in the World Champions, and that's unfortunate for Renzo. He is out of qualifying. So at the moment, we've just got under 2 minutes to go. Gunnar is in Q3 at the moment. He is loving these wet conditions out there at the moment, and absolutely fantastic stuff. Silent Shifters just said was quite a good time. I think that was quite a good time, wasn't it? 0.3 of a second quicker than anyone else. If you was able to start qualifying Laggy, where would you reckon you have been? Do you reckon you would have been about the midfield? Do you reckon you would have got into Q3?
I don't know about Q3, but Q2 was definitely on the cards.
And that's a big shame as well. But as we touched on in the race, as we touched on earlier on, the race is going to be steady wet, steady rain, isn't it? So it looks like it's going to be intermediates for most of the race. So yeah, just basically sit back and watch the carnage unfold, isn't it? Really, that sounded like your tactic, wasn't it? When it is a full wet race, though, does that change your strategy at all? Are you going to be trying to go for a one-stop, or are you going? Because technically, you don't have to go into the pits at all. What is your what is your strategy going to be around there? Obviously, don't reveal all because there's a lot of people. And Nigel goes for fastest. As yeah, we've only got 44 seconds to go. Don't reveal. I know you won't reveal all because of course the drivers are very protective about what they want to do in the race. But yeah, is it possible to go for when it's raining steadily? Can the intermediates go for the whole 35 laps around here, or is that just not possible?
I don't think that's possible, but you can always try to do that. It's hard, but you never know what's possible until you try.
Definitely not as well. And, do you reckon there's going to be a lot of safety cars? Do you reckon in this race later on with these wet weather conditions? Sam's out as well. Sam is out of qualifying, so that is another. And Mr. Elite is just out. He's in 3.9 tenths per second. Look at that. He's 100 for a second away from Jonathan Cox. And so Mr. Elite. That is very close indeed. What can you do in 100 for a second? To be honest, not a lot really. I don't do a lot anyway, but yeah, that's definitely for the normal human being. That you won't be able to do much anyway. So as it stands, we've lost Renzo, we've lost Sam, we have lost Crazy. At the moment, Mr. Elite and Maxi are still in the game, there or thereabouts. But how are their times doing? Maxi still hasn't set a time yet in the Mercedes. Once again, the unit a bit late there to get himself through. Currently, then, so this is going to be very difficult, isn't it? On the back straight line, of course, remember DRS has not been enabled because of the wet weather conditions. We've got a yellow flag flown out there in sector 3 as well. Wishbone has just set a brilliant lap, and he is now fastest in Q2 in these very perilous conditions. Remember, he's making his debut.
Mr. Elite is flying.
Mr. Elite is flying, and talking of flying, Jonathan Cox is out of qualifying. That's a big blow. Maxi has gone fastest. This is incredible. And Mr. Elite, as Laggy Racer says, flying. So Gunnar is in trouble here. I think Jonathan's out of qualifying. Renzo and Sam are out qualifying as well. But who is going to be through? It's between Gunnar and Mr. Elite. Mr. Elite coming through in the final corner. What's he going to do? How's he going to improve then? And he is he going to? Leads game 421. He's done it. He's through. So Mr. Elite, a fantastic final lap there from Mr. Elite. All or nothing in the Alfa Romeo. Brilliant stuff. 2 Alfa Romeos are through. Dan was on the cusp as well. Gunnar just outside of the Q3. Absolutely mesmerising effort there. Jonathan Cox will be very disappointed to be in 12th position. Lorenzo in 13th. Sam in 14th. And Crazy Hitman is in 15th position. Whoa, blimey. As we're now just cooling down and getting ready for Q3 then. Just having a look at the comments and all what's going on in the chatter box. Yeah, as Silence has just said, wet doesn't feel that bad. So yeah, I think he was a bit. I think he would have been a bit disappointed if it was a wet weather condition. Of course, Silence is very quick around here. He went brilliantly well earlier on in the week, didn't he? As we mentioned. So yeah, I think he didn't really want wet weather, but he done one lap and he was sorted, wasn't he? And also Nigel's now got no silent diva, and to be honest, that's really awful, isn't it? Really, having these issues, and Codemasters need to get themselves sorted out, really, don't they? So that's the end of qualifying 2 then in this. Wow, we've only done Q1 and Q2. I'm absolutely shattered. So Maxi there right at the end got himself through to Q3. Fantastic stuff. Wishbone also producing a very incredible lap as well in the Renault. Silent Shift in 3rd. He only did 1 lap there. Nosey is 4th. Nigel 5th. Emerson 6th. Granty 7th. Farf is 8th. 9th is Mr. Leaf, and Dan Murphy just about making it into the top 10. Unfortunately, out of qualifying is Gunnar, Jonathan Cox, Renzo, Sam, and Crazy. And Jonathan Cox has just mentioned the bloody weather. It's honest, it is the bloody weather, and it's absolutely hot over here at the moment. How's the weather over there in your area, Laggy?
It's also very hot. We couldn't stand the heat, so we had to bring out the fan.
To be honest, I got my window wide open, so now all the neighbours are going to be complaining about me about me shouting my head off. But to be honest, that's just a normal weekend usually, especially when Formula 1's on. But to be honest, it's been 4 weeks out of Formula 1, so yeah, this is my fix at the moment. So going into Q3, Laggy, who's your tip for pole position today? To be honest, we got several number of drivers that which are really interesting. We got a couple of guys on the soft compound tires. Is it dry out there for softs? Is it, Laggy?
No, you can see there's way too much rain at the moment. There's also a lot of standing water still, so it's gonna be hard if you're gonna do the softs.
I was going to say that's a very, very bold thing to do at the moment. The rain has eased off a bit though, hasn't it? Do you reckon it'll be dry enough in the next several minutes for these guys to go onto the dry compound tyres, or is that just wishful thinking?
There's a good chance the rain goes away at the end of qualifying. You can see the rain is coming down. There's less and less rain. So there's a chance.
Oh, but did you see that message down in the bottom left-hand corner? The DRS is enabled. That usually means that it is dry enough for the dry tyres, and the silent shifting has gone very wide there. But they have to be brave if they're going to go on the soft compound on the dry tyres now, though, aren't they? Because yeah, because there's still a lot, as like you said, there's still a lot of water out there. So yeah, they need to have to keep up the forward momentum to keep the temperature into the tyres. Otherwise, they are just going to be floating off the track. Silent shifting is going around and he's doing a banker lap straight away. DRS enabled. The DRS is enabled for the first time in a long time in this qualifying session as well. Jonathan Cox has just put his really gutted now. Of course, he got knocked out of qualifying, unfortunately. He, as we said, he's been practicing like a man possessed, hasn't he? And coming out of the pits, he's lost it, and that's one of the that's Favre just going through, and Favre is on the soft compound tyres. So yeah, that silent shifting there just trying to recover there, but that's a big blow for silent shifting. And yeah, so silent shifting staying out there. Granty is now also another man staying out there at the moment. 9 minutes to go. Yellow flag floating around in sector 1 then. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great day for the debutants. I think I've just seen a message somewhere. Oh, and he's drifting around turn 5, and so is the Williams just behind him, a silent shift in there. This is great car control, isn't it, Laggy? Absolutely fantastic stuff to watch. Really appreciate the control that you guys have. Is immense out there. And yeah, just a quick question before anyone sets a time in. Who is your tip for pole position?
Maxi in the Mercedes looks very good for pole position. And maybe Silent can challenge him for pole, or maybe even Nigel.
That just shows the openness of ALR, really, doesn't it? We got 3 drivers that potentially go for pole position. And have we? And do you think that we've seen the true pace of guys like Farf, Nosey, and of course Emerson as well? Emerson has been absolutely fantastic since starting the ALR. Do you think that is their true pace, or is that Granty there just kisses the wall? Do you think we've seen their true pace, or are they just are they sandbagging at the moment? Granty goes faster on 21.4.
Of course, Granty is still on the Inter, so he's going to be very slow. But in the beginning of qualifying, it was still dry, so maybe there we could have seen a bit of their true pace. But the track is going to go faster and faster, so the times are going to be less higher and higher. So
gonna be tumbling like a fruit machine, aren't they? So this is gonna be fantastic stuff. So how difficult is it to time your run then? Because you want to be last man across the line, surely, don't you? You want to get as much. You want to be on the track when the track is its best, isn't it? How difficult is it to time your the time when you want to come out the pits?
It's not that easy, because if you come out in traffic and everyone slows down, it's really hard to predict where you're gonna end up at the end with all these people around you.
Indeed it is. And traffic around here, is that a major problem around Canada? I mean, the lap time usually in a dry race is around a 1:09, isn't it? But so it's only a 70-second lap, a very short lap around here. But is traffic around here difficult, or do you, even though it's a short track, to me, novice, there's a lot of straights, so you should be able to get away. But it's not that easy, is it, to get away when you're like in quali?
So there are a lot of places you can easily go out of the way, but it's not that easy always to just get out of the way of someone who's on a flying lap.
And we're just taking a quick look to see who else is on the flying lap at the moment. I think Favre's on the flying lap, and we've got Nosey and Maxi there just crawling out the pits at the moment. Oh no! And I was wondering why, and he's always in the back. Maxi has been disqualified from the session for some unknown reason. I'm not sure what was going on there, but we had a quick glance, didn't we? And I just assumed that they were just taking their time from the pits, but Maxi has been disqualified from the session. So we've only got 9 cars available, and we've got a yellow flag floating around in sector 1. Sorry, the final sector. So big blow for Maxi. Mr. Elite went through the track there, which is a bit odd. Just taking a quick look, see who's finished that lap then. So yeah, got disqualified. What happened? Did you see what happened there, Laggy, or was it just or do you think that was just a bit unfortunate?
I just saw the message that he's disqualified for blocking the pit lane. So maybe he was doing something else and he forgot to control the car and just stood there in the front of the pit exit.
And that's a very good point actually that you've mentioned there, is about there's a lot of things you could do in the car. How do you find it easy to like do, or to not only drive the car fast but also adjust the settings? We'll come on to that question in a minute, because look at this, Wishbone is hugging the inside because he is going to take pole position here with 5.5 minutes to go. It's an 09.2, fantastic time there from the Renault driver, making his debut as well. Of course, remember in Canada last year we had all sorts of action, didn't we? And of course Nigel made his debut this time last season as well, and yeah, we got another big couple of names making their debut tonight. Fantastic stuff. Nosey is out on track at the moment, he's just doing the fastest time, so is Emerson. Silent Shift is about to complete his lap, I believe. He's just coming through the oh, look at that, very close to the world champions, and look at this, he's also hugging the line there, you can see, and he goes faster, incredible. He's a tenth of a second in front of Wishbone there. Fantastic time there from Silent. This is looking very good, isn't it? Indeed. We got a bit of sunshine out there as well. We might have to make the most of it, because I have, as we've heard in the comments from the drivers, it's going to be a bit it's going to be wet tomorrow. Oh, later on, and Emerson's hit the wall, but is he going to be able to get pole? Yes, he does. Fantastic time from Emerson. It is 200ths of a second. That is unbelievably close. Nosey comes across the line, Mr. Elite, and Nosey got pole. And Nosey is now stolen. Once again, he's stolen away from Emerson. He's really becoming a four on the side of Emerson, isn't he, at the moment, as Mr. Elite has just got off the track. Wow, fantastic stuff. So at the moment, Wishbone's coming in the pitch. We've got Nigel out there at the moment. He's on an outlap at the moment. So Granty, Murphy, and also Farf haven't set any times yet. So just watching Nigel get just about, he's just getting his time sorted. Wow, it's absolutely fantastic times out there. 9.090. And yeah, just coming back to the question we was talking about, Laggy, how difficult is it to drive the car at a fast pace, but also to get the car in the right modes, isn't it? It's not about just driving fast, isn't it? You've got to get the car prepared, haven't you?
Yeah, it's not that easy. It's something I struggle with as well. I have to practice a lot on driving the car whilst doing the ALRs and fuel management. And sometimes you are actually in a battle, so you have to save some ALRs for the straight and then go in a slipstream or overtake and all that stuff. So it's not that easy.
It really isn't, indeed, and now I'm wondering that might have contributed to Maxi's issue as well. Just watching Nigel then, he's the most successful ALR driver in history with 6 wins to his name. Absolutely fantastic stats he has. He's been on the podium in all the races he's entered, apart from 2, which was the first 2 races he in this season that he drove for back in Spain and Baku. But yeah, he looked like he was back on performance day, Nigel. But of course, just touched on that, we have got 1, 2, 3. We've had 4 drivers that have won so far in the first 6 races. It's been fantastic. Farf on 2, Emerson on 2, and then Nigel 1, and also Silent Shifting getting a win as well. Are we going to have a 7th winner? This 7th winner? Are we going to have a 5th winner as well? This has been a fantastic start to the season, season 2, of course. As now Nigel coming on the back straight, and then he is 6th at the moment. He's behind his teammate Mr. Elite. Mr. Elite this season has been very impressive this season. He's just getting quicker and quicker, isn't he? Last season is one of the most outstanding performance you'll ever see from Mr. Elite in the wet. He was absolutely the rainmaster, wasn't he? What about Nigel? He's going to take pole. No, again, he's only 5th fast at the moment. And wow, I thought, going to be honest, I thought he was a little further up the road, to be honest. That's what I get for looking down. So yeah, Nigel there, and for not getting pole position at the moment, but he is 5th at the moment. Do you reckon that he's a bit out of sync, Nigel? Do you reckon that's going to come back to haunt him? And in terms of, because it looks like do you reckon he'll get back in and get back out, Nigel, or do you think that's it for Nigel here?
No, anything can still happen. As you will see, the top 5 is extremely close. It's only 3.5 turns between them. So if you make a slight gain, you can go pole position.
Definitely, and I echo that sentiment from Laggy indeed. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. Rumbour is Silent then. Silent, and of course, he won on his return race back to ALR, didn't he? Back in China. Fantastic return race. It was the biggest sporting comeback since. I'm trying to think of a sporting comeback now. This is going to be appalling. I'll worry about that. Rocky, that'll do. I'll come back to that in a bit. And we're back on board. Silent shift, and then as you can see, he's coming into the first sector now. Let's just take a look at his time. Let's compare it to the his lap earlier on. He is 3 tenths of a second up. He is in the ballpark to steal that pole position away from no one's at the moment. We're under a minute away from here at the moment, and 9 drivers are going for pole position. We've got Mr. Elite out there, we've got Granty, we've got Murphy, we've got Favre, we have got everyone out there apart from Nigel, who's in the pits, and I think Nigel is out of the qualifying session now, unfortunately, so he'll only be 5th, and he's put himself under a lot of you might be a bit concerned now with half a second up. Silent shifting this. He is going for his I think he hasn't got a pole position yet in this season, but he's always been there or thereabouts, hasn't he, the Williams driver? He's coming down the back straight now. What's he doing? So he's half a second up at the moment, and he's now coming into the final sector now, accelerating away, DRS enabled, and what's he going to do? He's hugging the line, This is going to be incredible. That's a fantastic lap, 7 tenths of a second quicker than his lap before, and he's on pole position. Nosey going to hugging the inside line. Mr. Elite is now starting lap. Grant, he has done a lap, but I think he ain't happy with that lap, so he's going again. Farf is out there at the moment, so what is Farf doing? He is currently handset lap here. Murphy or Farf handset a lap. What is Farf going to do? This is incredibly close. Look at the times out there. Like he said it earlier, it is so close between the top 5, and Mr. Elite, Granted, Murphy and Farf have all got to do their best time share as well. Nigel unfortunately will not be that's it for Nigel. I wonder if that might be for Silent as well, but he is in the best position in the of this at the moment. What about Farf? He goes 5th fastest, so Farf is 5th at the moment. The championship leader only 5th. I say only 5th. He might be happy with that, but well, it does depend really on what everyone else. Nosey's done. He is out qualifying. What about Emerson? Emerson hasn't got a pole position yet in his ALR career. Is he going to take it? No, he goes 2nd. I know we got a Ferrari now coming across the line. And what is Dan Murphy doing? He goes 7th fastest. Then Mr. Lee out there. Grant, he has called it a day. Silent shifting is also called it a day as well. What about Wishbone? Wishbone comes. He's a 10th quicker. Is that going to be enough? No, then it's only 3rd position then. And we've also got Mr. Elite coming through now. Where does Mr. Elite go? 7th fastest. Wow, what a qualifying session there. Blimey. I bet you're absolutely shattered after watching that, Laggy. And you've got a race to do in a minute. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah. That's an extremely good qualifying. Thanks to the rain, the track evolution is pretty high when there's rain, and you drive up at the end. And then there's a lot of epic stuff going on.
That is absolutely incredible time then. So thank you for joining us, Laggy. Absolutely for this qualifying session, been absolutely immense then. And I'll let you go to get prepared for the race then. Of course, you've got a longer race from 90th on the grid, but if the weather is anything to go by, it's going to be epic, isn't it? Anything could happen. Thanks, Laggy.
It was a pleasure. See ya.
And as Laggy now gets himself ready to get in the car, look at that. Emerson once again, he hasn't got a pole position yet in ALR. He seems to get robbed, doesn't he? Silent Shifting has his first ever career pole position in Canada. An absolutely incredible lap from Silent Shifting. Wishbone on his debut 3rd. Nosey is 4th position. Farf is 5th. Nigel is 6th. 7th is Mr. Elite, and that's the end of that. But don't worry, we'll go through the grid in just a few moments, and in the full grid capacity as well, because we've got 19 drivers around this. Oh, and there it is. That's been confirmed, as the driver said. There is rain on the horizon, and that is, well, it's not on the horizon. It's here, isn't it? And now we're going to get. This is really going to get into. This is really going to get a very, very interesting indeed. So Silent Shifting on pole position. That was his first ever pole position. Silent Shifting, and he has really put a shift in, hasn't he? Fantastic time there from Silent Shifting. Now the guys are just preparing their time. Mr. Elite has joined. Oh, I didn't even see Mr. Elite leave, but I'm glad he's back in, because he's in a very strong position. And Mr. Elite, as we said in France last year, was absolutely walking on water, wasn't he? In France, he was flying out there, and of course, that announced his appearance onto the ALR scene, didn't it? And here we go then. So this is just a formation lap, so don't worry about that. That's why it's all calm at the moment, and that's as calm as it's going to be, I think, here tonight. So let's just take a quick look then, as we're just going to have a look at the tyres. They're all on intermediate tyres. So this weather here today has been absolutely appalling, hasn't it? Both in qualifying and the race. And I think Mr. Elite is just asking him to get back into the session. I'm hoping that someone could invite him back in, because he's not there at the moment. So Mr. Elite is 7th and he can't get back in. And oh no, Mr. Elite needs to be in there. This is going to be a big shame for Mr. Elite if he can't get back in. And oh no, 35 laps around here. Mr. Elite has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in a minute, because he has done an absolutely phenomenal job, hasn't he, today? But on pole position is Silence. Second position is Emerson. Once again, Emerson hasn't got a pole position. Wishbone making his debut in 3rd position. Knowlesy is 4th. 5th position is Faf, the championship leader. And just in front of him is Knowlesy, and Emerson just in front of him, of course, the championship rivals. Nigel is in 6th position. Of course, he made his debut, didn't he, in this race last season, in that epic race. It was one of the best races of the season, wasn't it? Something for the wrong reasons, for the right reasons. But it was still one of my favourites. Mr. Elite is meant to be 7th. He needs to get hopefully someone can get him back in here as soon as possible. Dan Murphy is in 8th at the moment in the Ferrari. 9th position is Granty. Unfortunately, he didn't do a time, did he, on the dry tyres, and was 9th in the end. Maxey had an unusual problem where he got disqualified when he was at the pit entry though, so interesting. Gunnar, fantastic, and I'm expecting good things from Gunnar now, because he is, as is Mr. Elite, he is a very good driver in the wet. Jonathan Cox, very disappointed to be down in 12th position there, but there's a long way to go. Renzo is 13th at the moment. He didn't fancy the formation lap. Sam in 14th position. He is first two races have been very difficult for Sam, hasn't he? He's Monaco and now a wet race in Canada. Crazy Hitman 15th. Ryan, it all went, unfortunately, it just rained at the wrong time for him. Same for Grillsy, 15th and 16th. Mr. Elite has joined. McVicious hit the wall champions in the 17th position. Laggy is 18th. Mr. Elite hasn't got a car, so that is, I think that is a big shame there from Mr. Elite. And here we go then, we've only got 18 cars then, because we've been robbed because Mr. Elite hasn't got cars, just disappeared, which is absolutely atrocious, isn't it? Anyway, we've got 5 sets of lights on when we're going on. We'll be racing in Canada, and we are go! And it is going. You can see Crazy Hitman's already dropped down. He's dropping down a couple of positions there, and he's right down at the back already. And Emerson's going on the outside. He's had a flying start on the outside. Emerson is taking the lead, a Canadian Grand Prix, but Science Shifter's trying to go back on the outside at the moment. Wishbone is defending 3rd position. All very tentative at the moment out there. But Emerson has flown off the grid, hasn't he? Once again, they're taking the lead and taking it by storm, hasn't he? Second, third is Knowlesy, 4th position is Farf. He's getting forced a bit right there into turn 6 there. He's going to have a lunge, is he? No, not quite. 6th position is Nigel. Maxey up into he's had an amazing start. Maxey up into 7th. 8th is Murphy. Granty 9th. Fire shot. Ryan is up into 10th. He's already in the points. Look at the weather out there as well. Renzo 11th. Grillsy 12th. Gunnar 13th. Jonathan Cox is down into 14th. Laggy is up into 15th. We spoke to him earlier. Sam 16th. Crazy 17th. And McVicious is 18th. Mr. Elite has left the session. That is absolutely appalling from Mr. Elite's point of view. That's a shame. Ryan is up into, look at Ryan, he's flying through the field. He's like a hot knife through butter here. He is up into 8th position, and we got contact between Renzo and we got a yellow flag and freeze somewhere. And who is that? McVicious. It's gone. McVicious has also got a 3-second penalty, so the fear collision with Crazy there in the back there. We didn't see what happened there, but we're just on board then with Granty Boy, who's dropped down to 11th position. And because then look at the rain here, it's absolutely appalling. You can hardly see anything. Renzo then is just trying to get through. That's a Ferrari off the track there. That's Laggy who's gone off the track then. And look at this. This is getting very, very tasty indeed as he down to turn 1 then. And just having a look then. Oh, and that's what Williams has gone sideways there. It's chaos out there, absolute chaos. And I'm glad I'm not racing here. This is going to be a long old race then. And as Mr. Elite has joined, but I think that I fear because Mr. Elite's car is nowhere to be seen. I don't think he's. And Farf is up in the 3rd position. Farf is up in the 3rd now. Wishbone has dropped down to a 5th position then at the moment then. But oh blimey, Nigel's 6th. But look at this then. We've got a bit of a QB on Wishbone at the moment, haven't we? And in 6th, 7th. But Fire Shot is absolutely flying out there in the Williams. He is having a great debut in the Williams. He is looking very, very strong indeed, isn't he? As we said earlier, just got a 3-second penalty already in this race. So yeah, this is going to be a longer race. But look at this, Murphy is now getting very interested in Fire Shot, isn't he? And Wishbone's gone right off the track there. And there's a bit of a cloud then. That's a cloud between Wishbone and And I don't know, I think it's Maxine, he's dropped down to 9th position, and so Wishbone Hamlet give him a good old clout there. As you see now, Nigel's over the third then. Maxie is gaining on Murphy, he is through and up into 8th position then. Or is he? No, he had, oh no, that's contact again, but somehow they're both on the same piece of tarmac. Look at this, Nigel's under a lot of pressure now. Wishbone there is trying to come back at him now as they go into turn 1 then. Wishbone's gone wide again, he's struggling on these conditions at the moment, he's dropped down, fires up into 6th position now. Absolutely fantastic. Grant is through, or is he through? He's trying to get through. This is getting very, very close indeed. And look at this. Oh my gosh, we got a pretty bad camera angle here, but luckily they're all through. And Renzo is still in front there. He's driving superbly well at the moment of this race. And oh, getting a very, very. It's getting very dark out there now, isn't it? Very, very dark indeed. And I'm wondering if the rain's just going to get ever and ever. They did say it was just going to be light rain, wasn't it? Emerson has now got a 1.6 second lead at the moment at the top of the timesheets. This, at the moment as it stands, will take the lead in the Drivers' Championship. Farf will lose the lead for the first time in this season, which will be because he started the season so well, 2 wins out of 2. And what's going on in the foreground there, not a lot at the moment. This is very dark out there indeed. I think it's almost night time out there. Grillsy is, oh no, Jonathan's got it too, oh there's a car park down at the hairpin. And the McLaren is just trying to get himself back on track at the moment. So we've got it's yellow flags for Gunnar. Unfortunately, Gunnar was on a great race up until that point. So Shifter's got a penalty, and McVicious there is just recovering after a difficult start. And Farf is up in the third then, so Farf looking very strong at this stage of the race. Look at the rain out there, it's awful, isn't it? Nosy 4th, Nigel 5th, Wishbone 6th, position we got Diff. Oh, did we see someone go? No, we didn't. It was alright. Sam is now through because Laggy's in the pits and the Ferrari. So Emerson's got a 3-second penalty so far. Then that's quite a surprise for Emerson, because he's usually very precise on this driving, isn't he? Nosy is 4th, Nigel 5th, Wishbone is 6th. 7th position is a Fireshot, who's dropped now behind Wishbone. Murphy is 8th position, and Robbie Murphy is a Maxi in 9th position then. So we haven't got no retirement yet, but Mr. Elite should have been in this session, so that is a big blow for Mr. Elite, isn't it? And Murphy's just gone wide, but I think so is Maxi, I should say. So you can see then Renzo is just in front of us at the moment, and he is 3 seconds back in the moment, but he cannot. And Murphy is gone. It's been overtaken at the moment. But what about Renzo at the moment is really we've got yellow flags in 2. What's going on at 2? Oh, it's Laggy who's pointing the wrong way at turn 6. And Laggy and look at this then, great stuff there. And wow, and look, Farf is going through. Farf is going to overtake him. Silent Shifting, he's up into 2nd position now then. Silent Shifting was on pole position, his first pole position of his career. And oh, look at this, he braked so much later, and he's kept it going there. Oh, getting a bit tense there at the moment, isn't it? Look at the spray out there. It's absolutely appalling weather conditions. A lot of drivers are going to be disappointed with this weather, aren't they? Because with not many drivers really practice in the wet, do they? Because it hardly rains. But this race has been all about the rain, hasn't it? Well, this event's been all about the rain, hasn't it? Wow, incredible stuff in the moment. Fireshot still saying Max is now up to 8th position. Renzo is 9th position. Granty is dropped off Renzo at the moment, so they're all starting to get spread out there slightly. Just on board then with Gunnar, who's just behind Lightning Racer, and the McVicious have already pitted then. And John, because it's raining out there, the rules are you don't need to use 2 types of compounds, so technically they don't have to come in the pits at all. But the world, Silent Shifting's gone wide. But he should have the momentum. But that's really given Farf really definitely made Farf very interested at this stage, doesn't he? He's gaining, but you can see, look at the errors. He's used a lot of errors, hasn't he, in this stage? Emerson is almost checking out the front at the moment, isn't he? He's 3.4 seconds in front. He looks like he's good wet. It looks like he's a good driver, wet or dry at the moment. This is a test for all these drivers out there at the moment. Is yellow flying free. Taking a look to see what's going on at 3. I think it's Granty. Granty is recovering, and is him and Renzo come together? Just taking a look, and no, I don't think it's Granty, is it? Why is there yellow flags floating around? I don't know. So I may have missed something completely there, which I probably have. Anyway, Gunnar is now all over the back of Crazy Hitman, and also Sam in 14th position at the moment. Crazy Hitman's gone wide there into turn 1. That's going to give Gunnar an opportunity then coming into turn 3. And you can see then there's Crazy Hitman's really struggling for pace there because Gunner's going to go on the inside. That's a good overtaking maneuver, nice and clean. Ryan is down into, as Maxi's just gone by him as well, and Ryan is down into, oh, there's a bit of contact there. It should be alright, but Murphy is now interested as well. Murphy having a look, back on board the Ferrari at the moment in 9th position. And, absolutely fantastic stuff. The Crazy Hitman and Gunner are still fighting tough now, but Murphy up the inside, he is through and in front of Ryan. As Ryan has really put himself in the mix, hasn't he? After a poor qualifying session, he is back up there now, and unfortunately Mr. Elite is living, and I don't blame him, to be honest, because his car wasn't on the grid, so he wasn't able to join. That's absolutely wrong. He's done everything he needs to do today, and he's in a very good qualifying position. He was in 14th. He was in well, we'll talk about that. He was in 7th position or 6th position on the grid. He was right up there, right in the mix. And yeah, he's been no fault of his own. He hasn't been able to take the start, and that is completely wrong, isn't it? Really, and yeah, it's just unfair. It's just, unfortunately, it's just how dodgy this game can be, really, isn't it? And yeah, so yeah, I do feel for Mr. Elite there. He's done all the preparation. He's done nothing wrong. And then, but look at this. So, to be honest, Emerson's checked out, but behind him is just an absolute frantic of a race, isn't it? Brilliant stuff indeed from all these guys out there. Granty at the moment just dropping back. At the moment, Farf is getting really. I'm not sure if it's getting worse or if it's just really dull out there. He's going to have a lunge into the hairpin, is he? He is. Yes, he's through. But silent shifting is going to go on the outside, and he should have momentum. And now look at this, they're going wheel to wheel on the back straight. And remember, no DRS in this stage of the race because of the wet conditions. The question is this going to dry up? Well, we'll find out in a minute. You can see it's now up to 4.6 seconds the gap between Emerson and Silent Shifting. And now Silent Shifting doing a good job there. He went wide. He's taking the car in line, isn't he? Oh no! That's a bit of wing off the Williams, I think it is. And now he's under a bit of pressure. And Farf is now on the inside. And yeah, it's the Williams, it's the wing. Is that both end plate? No, it's just one end plate gone there. So he's going to have a lot of understeer now. And there's now a train performing behind then the Williams, behind a Silent Shifting. Silent Shifting, remember, on pole position. So is this allowing Emerson to allowing Emerson to really start to pull away now, isn't he, in this race? So the battle from 2nd down to 6th is absolutely intense, isn't it? And we've got a good old battle between Maxi and Murphy and Ryan there as well. And Renzo and Granty are still having a good old battle. Remember, Granty is 2nd in the championship at the moment. And of course, Grillsy in that battle as well. Jonathan Cox is only 13 at the moment, really struggling in these wet weather conditions. Jonathan is right down there, and unfortunately, it's just all gone. The weather and all sorts of. And we'll come out of the minute because now Farf is on the outside this time, and he has gone. Oh, he got very wide there, and that's going to interest Nosey, is it? And now accelerating away, it's Silent Shift back on board, but you can see he's done the Silent Shift in line, and this time he is now side by side with Silent Shift, and this has been a brilliant. I've really enjoyed this battle. This has been a fantastic battle for 2nd position at the moment. Is Farf going to be quick enough to as Silent Shift there is parking away, but look at this. Farf has got momentum. 3-second penalty for Nigel in the background. Nigel's also getting involved in this as well. Look at the caliber of drivers involved in this battle. Oh, that was I think Silent Shift had just come across Farf there slightly, and yeah, they made contact there, and now Silent Shift. Still, this is getting very, very brutal, isn't it, out there? And look at Wishbone there, of course, making his debut right up there in the thick of the action there. It's been fantastic racing, hasn't it? And there is still 18 cars left in the track. There should be 19. There's and Gunner's in the pits end. So Gunner's in the pits end. Yeah, this looks really horrible out there, doesn't it? Really horrible indeed. And in terms of the conditions out there, and you can see then it's now. As he's now going to have a look down turn 9 here, not quite, as Silent Shifting there really desperately trying to hang on for 2nd here. This is, remember, there is this has been a brilliant battle, hasn't it? Now he's going to go on the outside again, so he's doing the same strategy as was before. But now, Silent's gone very wide now, and Farf is up the inside, and he's through. And what is the Silent Shifting going to be able to get back in front? And he's now turning the ears up slightly, isn't he? His Farf needs to. He needs an event, but Silent Shifting's got a very slippery car, hasn't he? And now he is back through in the same position. This is great, brilliant racing from Silent Shifting, isn't it? And Farf's got a 3-second penalty there, and now we're coming again, very close to each other. Back on board, then Silent Shifting is again. He's got a very slippery car, hasn't he? Silent Shifting. very slippery indeed. As oh, did they touch? I don't think they touched there slightly, but yeah, it's very, very close. And you can see in the background there a Mercedes and a Ferrari and a Williams there battling out as well. Granty is through, I think, and up into is finally. Oh, is he? Or is he? He's just on board. Jonathan Cox there. No, because Renzo is back through. Renzo's back through, and he's pushing Granty on the outside there. And Granty there is still behind Renzo. Renzo's having a great drive in that forcing that Racing Point once again. Of course, this Racing Point home Grand Prix. He is the leading Racing Point as well. When Grillsy out of the pits now, then, so he's on fresh intermediate tyres. And yeah, if you think I'm out of breath, I am out of breath. Absolutely fantastic stuff. We're running like 10 out of 35. It's been mesmerising stuff, hasn't it? Really has indeed. There's now then 8 seconds gap is at the front end, so Emerson is checking out in the oh, sorry, shifting again, going wide. Then this is moment is a stalemate. Yellow flying well because Gunar's the first man out. Gunar's the first one out, and he's gone. Oh, did he? Well, he's done a truly, and he's gone on the outside turn 2 there. Did he come on the? Did he come in the pits there, Gunnar? And well, that's unfortunate. There for Gunnar, absolutely unfortunate indeed for Gunnar's point here, but then back in the lead. Gunnar's last session, he had such a good qualifying session as well. And now Farf getting back on board with Farf, and he's going to go the inside into turn 1. Wheel to wheel stuff, but it's side shifting, shit up the inside in turn 2. Once again, side shift. Oh, he's going to go on the outside. He's going to go on the outside. He's going to get enough purchase off the traction. No, lovely shot here underneath the trees, and if side shifting, we have the inside, but Farf is through. He's through and up into second position. And now has he got the pace to get after Emerson? Emerson is checked out though, as I've said multiple times. No, Silent Shifting is going to go to the inside, and that's going to let Nosy through. Nosy is through, and up into third position. I think Silent Shifting attempted to overtake there, but he's dropped down to fourth position now. He is out of the podium at the moment. Remember, we've had an awful lot of penalties, haven't we, in this race so far? As brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And Granty really struggling out there at the moment in the wet weather conditions. Really struggling indeed in the Renault. Nigel is just half a second back then. Is now up the outside. As what's Nosy doing? Nosy's going on the inside there. Is he going to just slam the door shut? He does now. Is now back on board, Silent Shifting then. And absolutely brilliant stuff then. And now he's turned the gears up once again then. So look at he's got an amazingly slippery car, hasn't he? The Rocket Williams. He is going like a rocket, isn't he? And he's now back up into third position, or is he? He is, and he's back through the third position. Farf is now oh, Nosy though gets a brilliant run out of the final turn 14, and he is through and back up into third position. Then Nosy is, but Silent Shifting is having a look. No, not quite. As absolutely fantastic stuff. Brilliant stuff indeed. Look at this though. We've got good old Cure cars, haven't we, behind these behind this brilliant battle. Farf is now starting to is now a second in front then. Of course it doesn't matter too much in the wet weather because of course the DRS is disabled, isn't it? Because the conditions are just not safe, are they? You don't need DRS in these wet weather conditions anyway. Fantastic. And the Silent Shifting taking a tighter line then. As Ayrton is just putting the comments in, Emerson's race pace is absolutely amazing. To be honest, it is amazing, absolutely amazing. I tell you, he has been absolutely flying. Emerson has, hasn't he? He's just he is 10 seconds in front of Farf, and this battle here is brilliant stuff. And and also I echo Ayrton's comments as well. This race between Farf, Nosy, Silent, Nigel, Wishbone has been absolutely fantastic stuff, hasn't it? And look in the background, Maxi has now started to really reel in this battle as well. Silent Shifting has dropped down to fourth, and it seems like he's the cork in the bottle, going back between Granty and Renzo. And again, Granty and Renzo have also been fighting as well. And look, Granty's now through. He was forcing his way through there, and he is now up into 10th position then. So Granty is 6 seconds back from the that epic battle. Up from second below. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed, isn't it? And Granty, is he going to pull away from Renzo? That's the question, because Renzo is doing a really good job around here, isn't he? As he's really at Monaco, he showed some amazing pace, and again here today, he's really stepping up a notch at the moment. Jonathan Cox is on is not really his pace around here in the dries. I'm mesmerised, but I think he's going to be very disappointed that it's raining out there at the moment, isn't he? Because in the wet he is really struggling. He's down in 12th position. He hasn't really made much headway, has he, from where he started? He started 12th anyway. And we've got some big names in the midfield, haven't we? We've got Jonathan Cox, we've got Grillsy. Both of them two are usually well on the points. They're only 12th and 13th at the moment. We've got the debutant Ryan Schott and fire shot. I called him orange shot there. Fire shot in 9th position. Granty, who's also usually there or thereabouts. Remember, he's second in the championship at the moment, and he's only 10th at the moment, only on a point. And then we got Murphy, who I tell you what, this game has been absolutely he's been really quick on this game, but yeah, he's only 8th at the moment. Maxi doing a good job on his debut. Wishbone doing a cracking job on his debut as well. Nigel is a 5th at the moment. 4th is Silent Shift, and then we've got Knowlesy and Far for 3rd and 2nd. Oh, brilliant! And then just rounding out the rest of the rest of the grid. Then, so Renzo is still hanging on to Grant at the moment. Jonathan Cox is 12th. We've got Grilty 13th. We've got Sam in 14th position, doing a good job. But then Sam is doing. Oh, and McFishes is out of the race. So that's both McLarens out of the race, unfortunately. And yeah, it's been a goon out of quality qualifying, didn't he? And unfortunately for McFishes, he didn't really get going much, did he? He hit the world champions. And just on board, we've got a yellow flag. Oh my gosh, he's in the middle of the track. He's at the middle of the track, and they've all avoided him. They've all avoided him. Oh my gosh, that was a very perilous moment for those drivers there. Oh, blimey, McFisher has left the session, unfortunately, just on board. Oh, lovely shot here from the Renault E-Tech. Oh, he's gone. Is he damaged his front wing? He has. And Wishbone is damaged his front wing on Nigel at the moment. And oh, big blow there. Big blow indeed. And yeah, that's a shame there from Wishbone. Is that going to cause him any issues? Of course, Silent Shifting's also got damage as well. And look who's just attached themselves onto the back of his belt here. It's Ryan as a fire shot has just dropped back slightly, hasn't he, in the Williams? He's dropped down to 9th at the moment. And just on board then with Maxi, who is there or thereabouts, isn't he, at the moment? As Wishbone is in the pits then. So we was right on board the rear wing there, so Wishbone's in the pits. What tyres are going on? I think that, to be honest, the only tyres is going to go on is the intermediate tyres. I think it's too dry for the wet tyres, isn't it? Does that really make sense? No, not really. Granty's in the pits as well. Granty's in the pits as well. As yeah, I think that they're just going to swap onto the intermediate tyres to get a fresh set. Then we're on lap 15 out of 35 here. In absolutely fantastic. But sure, so did you expect anything less here in Montreal? No, because Nigel's through. Nigel is through and up in the 4th position whilst I've been distracted. Nigel is now up into 4th position in the Alfa Romeo. So Nigel is now up in the 4th position. Silent Shifting is really struggling in these conditions, isn't he? He again, as like Jonathan, he's very quick around here in the drive, but unfortunately the wet, it's just oh, very disappointing, isn't it, for a couple of drivers out there at the moment. Oh, and that Maxi there going very deep on the brakes there into turn 11 there. And exciting rate. Look at that, a couple of corrections on the steering wheel. That's how treacherous it is out there. As the rain is still light at the moment, so it's not getting heavier at all. So Wishbone's on the fresh intermediate tyres, as is Granty. As you can see then, Nigel there, and into the pits then comes Silent Shifting as well. So I think so. To be honest, the good thing about these wet weather conditions, apart from the fact it's made an absolutely cracking race to watch, absolutely cracking indeed. But I think the good thing about these wet weather conditions is the strategy is absolutely thrown on its head. What is people going to go on? Are they going to they're going to stick out on the intermediates throughout the whole race, or are they going to and you can see Silent Shifting also making wing adjustments. Is he going to get out in front of he ain't going to get out in front of Wishbone? I don't think he's accelerating away now. He should be out in front of Jonathan. Jonathan's in the pits as well. So yeah, Silent Shifting is now in 10th position then. I wonder if that wing damage was the reason why he's struggling so much. Jonathan Cox out as well. Granty is in 13th position, and he's not he's having a bit of a miserable race in the Renault, isn't he, at the moment? But Jonathan there is out of the pits there. You can see, look at the drift there. It's these track conditions absolutely, and Crazy's in the pits as well. Laggy is in 16th position at the moment, and Ryan has got a 3-second penalty, and the gap is down to 8 seconds at the moment. Nose's up at the 3rd position. I'm missing all this. Oh dear. And now Maxi is up into it's Murphy and Maxi are side by side as well. Nosey has moved up into 2nd position, and yeah, the gap is down to 8 seconds at the moment. So down to 8 seconds at the moment is well, I'm wondering if and there's a car in the pits in front of us. That's Nigel in the pits as well. So this is interesting then. So it's the intermediate tyres not being able to hang on. That's this is going to be very interesting indeed, isn't it? And absolutely fantastic stuff then. We're approaching half distance in this race, only half distance. The rain is still steadily coming down as in this race at the moment, as Wishbone is now up into 8th position. And where's Nigel going to come out? Nigel's coming out of the pits, and he will be in front of Wishbone. So it's status quo. Wishbone gets the fast lap of the race. Remember, you get a point for the fastest lap. Silent Shifting is 9th. Grillsy is 10th. Where Renzo is out of the pits as well, and he's coming out in 11th position. So both racing points are out of the points mode. And Racing Point are, of course, the their home Grand Prix on board. Laggy at the moment is 15th. Of course, he had a very difficult race ahead of him, didn't he? Because of course he didn't take part in qualifying. And it's been very difficult. And to we've only had 2 retirements, and it's absolutely barnstorming of a race, haven't we? So now Murphy is now starting to really put the pressure down on Maxi. The gap at the front is 8.2 seconds. Emerson's in the pits, so Emerson is in the pits, and the question is now, what is Nolte and Farf going to do? They're going to come in the pits as well. And how much better is the fresh intermediate tires? Murphy is that was a very late call there. Nolte takes the lead in the Canadian Grand Prix. He's having a cracking old race out there, isn't he? Emerson's out of the pits now. Is Maxi is going to be between, as Maxi's also into 3rd position as well. So Emerson is now in 4th position in the Haas then. Of course, he had an 8-second gap, didn't he? But he's starting to lose time then. The question is, how much are these intermediate tyres going to play a factor? At the moment, they're not. Well, obviously a big factor because that's the contact point of the track, isn't it? So they're fairly important. Where's Murphy? Murphy is coming out just behind Wishbone then. So Murphy out in 7th position. He's in front of Silence at the moment. And also Fire Shot is out in that 9th position. Grillsy is in 10th at the moment. Renzo 11th. 12th position is Jonathan. Granty 13th. Sam 14th for Laggy on board Laggy then. And look at this. Look at the speed he's got. And look at it, that side by side going down the back straight. Laggy has got a lot of momentum back on board the Mercedes. He is going. And that's a great film. That is brilliant stuff from Sam. Unfortunately, got a penalty there, but look at, oh my God, so they've made contact and Laggy, and oh dear, it's all getting a bit fiery there, isn't it? And now, Laggy is actually living up to his name here, isn't he? He's a bit Laggy. And now, well, this is an interesting race then, isn't it? Between these two. And yeah, and 5-second penalty for I think that's a 5-second penalty, Delty, a 5-second penalty for Nosey as well, as they're in the pits. Maxi is also in the pits as well. So yeah, they're coming in a lap later then. They're all going on to the fresh intermediate tyres. So the intermediate tyres then are, yes, that's really answered our question really. They wasn't going to get to the end on the intermediate tyres, and they're back out. Emerson takes the lead of the Montreal Grand Prix on one. Did Nosey have a penalty as well? That's the question, because I must admit, yeah, I must admit I haven't. It's been all action, hasn't it? Wishbone is now in the 5th position. Nigel's 4th. Wishbone 5th. 6th is Murphy. Maxi is out in 7th position. So Murphy has jumped Maxi then in the round of pit stop. Look how close it is. So far from Nolte, 8 seconds back. Then we've got Nigel, 3-second gap. Then Wishbone. Then Murphy, Maxi, and Silent. All so close together. And that was a Williams there getting very close to the wall indeed. 9th position, 10th position is Fire Shot Grillsy. 11th, Grillsy 10th. 11th is Renzo, and 12th position is Jonathan at the moment. On board Jonathan, he's very tentative around here at the moment. And Sam's in the pits as well, so Sam into the pits then for the Mercedes. He was on a good old scrap with Laggy, wasn't he? And yeah, so we've got a bit of a lull now in this epic Canadian Grand Prix. Here's Emerson. You may have forgotten he was in the race up until about a couple of laps ago when he was stretching his lead. And the gap is down to 7.4 seconds, isn't it, Mo? There is Knowles in the background. This race is not done and dusted yet, is it, by a long shot? These guys have had epic battles, though, haven't they? This has been absolutely an epic race to follow. And Knowles got a 3-second penalty. To be honest, it is going to come down to penalties, I think, because Emerson's got 1 penalty. I think I mentioned that on lap 1 or 2, but since then he's had such a clean race. Once again, Emerson is going for 3 wins in 4 races. And he will take the lead of the championship as it stands at the moment. Farf is doing his utmost best to stop that, isn't he? Of course, well, so is Nosey as well, really, because Farf, Branchbull and Nosey are so close, and Emerson so close together. 5 points separates those guys. It's such a close championship at the moment. Really edge of your seat stuff. And of course, the 3 of the top 4 are in the top 3 places. Granty is having a miserable race down in 13th position at the moment, and he's going to lose a bit of ground in the championship today, isn't he? Unfortunately. And Nigel once again is Nigel we got a bit of sun out there. I'm wondering if the weather conditions are going to change. We got 15 laps to go, but I feel that I feel that if the weather conditions were likely to change, they would have, they probably would have gambled and stayed out on the inter tyres. But yeah, I must admit, we haven't had a full wet race in such a long time, have we? So yeah, it's really thrown a spanner in the works, hasn't it? But to be honest, it's been an absolutely excellent viewing for us, hasn't it? Really has. The laggy racers in the pits, so Crazy Hitman is now up into 14th position. Sam is in 16th position at the moment as well. Of course, he's doing he is, I think, doing a good job. Remember, he is very new to the league racing scene, as is Emerson as well. So yeah, I think that both drivers are doing a phenomenal job, aren't they? And Sam there is really starting to get into his groove now. Of course, a very difficult race in Monaco, and a very difficult race here as well with the wet weather conditions. Look, we've got Nigel, we've got Wishbone, we've got Murphy, and we've got Maxi, all in a second of each other. And we've got Silent Shifting just 2 seconds back here, and that fire shot in Montoya. Fire shot's opening lap was opening couple laps was phenomenal, wasn't he? He got knocked out of Q1 and was 16th on the grid, I think, 16th, 17th on the grid, and yet he did a very good, he did a phenomenal job to get through, didn't he? And now he is in, as Grills has got a 3-second penalty at the moment. At the moment, that might cost him 10th position. Moment Grills, yes, but he's done a very good strategy call there, and he's clawed his way back up to 10th at the moment. And so yeah, good stuff. So we've got both racing points, and of course in their home Grand Prix, as we've mentioned earlier, are in close company of each other. And so yeah, now lap 21 out of 35. The gap is down to 6.8 seconds. Nosey is looking on the prowl. Remember, Nosey hasn't got a race win to his name, has he? And remember, Nosey then is a very quick driver in his own right. I can't believe he hasn't got a race win to his name yet. He is but his consistency this year has been absolutely fantastic, hasn't it? And that's and he's really kept himself in the hunt. Is he going to do a Hamilton and get his first race win in Canada? Murphy has just set the fastest lap of the race, so he is the man on the prowl at the moment, and behind Wishbone at the moment. So at the moment, the closest battle on track is actually between Nigel, Wishbone, and Murphy, and we've got Maxi just a couple of seconds back then. Yeah, just a quick shout out then to the debutants, and that is Wishbone doing a good job in 5th position now, but we're not surprised at all because Wishbone's calibre of racing is fantastic. Maxi doing an also good job as well in 7th position, as is Ryan Shot in 9th position as well. Laggy Racer and Crazy Hitman are having a good old scrap between in 14th and 15th position at the moment. And there's I think that's a bit coming up to some traffic in the just behind us here. Back on board Crazy Hitman in 15th position at the moment, and so 15th and 14th. The points go down to 10th. So as Crazy, has he got? I think Crazy there really decelerating there. Laggy's looking on the prowl, and also Grant is also on the prowl as well in a 13th position. That's my favourite word of the day, isn't it? Prowl. Just join back up to the battle here as and Nathan Hughes just asked, what was Renzo's penalty for? I'm not too did Renzo have a penalty? I don't know. You can see I'm awful. I can't keep up with anything, can I really? So yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm wondering. I didn't really see. If it was a 3-second penalty, it might have almost certainly been for cutting the corner. Otherwise, you also get penalties for speeding in the pit lane as well. You're getting there talking of speeding in the pit lane. Grills, he's got a 5-second speed penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So you can see in foreground as Renzo's back up in the 10th position. He's doing a good job. The Irishman is really good job indeed. The last two races really showing some determination. Now Sam is about to get lapped from Nigel. Yellow flag in 2, but don't worry, I think that is Sam. We've also got a car in the foreground there as well. Just seeing who that was, and it's also Crazy Hitman as well. It's gone white then. But so great onboard footage here with Wishbone at the moment. So he is behind the first ever ALR champion, of course, season 1 ALR champion. Crazy Hitman getting on the way as well. Good respect then to the guys that are getting lapped. It's very difficult to get out of the way. And Gigranti is now up into 11th position. He's by Jonathan Cox, and Gigranti is now up into 11th position, and he's now only a second away from Renzo. But as you can see then now, this is getting the battle once again. Though the battle is between these guys here, as and they can just put cheers for answering. Don't worry, I don't think I answered your question so I had that's Crazy off the track there in the background. Crazy is off the track. Is he in the wall? He's in the wall, of course, but is he damaged? He's still going, I think, but he's hit the wall of champions. And where is it? He's yeah, crazy there. The car is still almost within one piece there, but yeah, that's unfortunate. He's also got a 5-second grid penalty there for cutting the corner. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I really answered your question, to be honest. I think I'm sure he must have got a penalty there for cutting the corner there. But these guys, and the penalty is going to be a huge factor in the remainder of this race. And a lovely shot here from the rear wing of the Ferrari. Unfortunately, it's the wrong rear shot. We'd rather have the rear shot on Nigel or Wishbone. Nigel is now 3 seconds away from Farf, and Nosey is the gap at the front is yo-yoing up and down between Emerson and Nosey. I think they got a good old rivalry going on now, isn't it? They might be. Oh, and Nigel's gone wide there. It's going to be. It might be a Senna and Prost rivalry that might start to unfold between the guys. We've got a yellow flag just flying out there. I'm wondering, it's crazy, he's in the wall again. Crazy on awful problems at the moment in the wall. He's struggling with that car. Someone's broken. And Wishbone is through. He's through. And Wishbone is through and having the 5th position. Nigel's also dropping down to 6th, and Nigel's had an awful couple of corners. And Murphy is now up into 5th position. Nigel's dropped from 4th to 6th. And now then, what about penalties? As we said before, we've got a yellow flag flying out there. I think it is for Crazy Hitman, who's our 3rd retirement. We only have 3 retirements in this race. Well, 4, because unfortunately Mr. Elite couldn't take the start because of Codemasters being crap, really. Excuse my French. Yeah, so that was unfortunate, as Ryan's got a 3-second penalty. The caliber of driver here is absolutely phenomenal. Isn't it? And yeah, as I was saying, then the battle at the front there between Emerson and Nosey. Yeah, they've had epic battles in Monaco, haven't they? They had a great qualifying battle in Spain as well. And then I think was it in Baku as well? No, I think it was in Baku actually, wasn't it? Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Yeah, Ayrton and Prost Ayrton and Nigel's gone a bit wide down in the background. Ayrton and Alan Prost-esque, isn't it? Their potential rivalry could be, but at the moment Emerson has got the high ground, hasn't he? And we all know about the high ground, don't we, for Star Wars fans? Anyway, coming into the chicane then, and Wishbone then is currently holding 4th position. So I've really enjoyed this race. It's been a fantastic race. We're on lap 26, and look at the background. Look at the queue of cars. Then this race has been very close, hasn't it? To be honest, and Emerson did check out originally at the beginning of the stint, but no, since because silent shifting was kind of the cork in the bottle, wasn't it? At the opening stage, they really struggled for pace. Silent shifting. Remember, he was on pole position, so it's not gone too well for the Williams driver out there, has it today? There's a Wishbone there going very wide there. Of course, the Vettel corner. Remember, Vettel lost the lead there on the last lap, didn't he? I think it was lap 70, wasn't it? Lap 70 of the 2011 Canadian Grand Prix. And now then back on board then with Murphy then. Just having a look at Wishbone then. As Renzo's got a penalty there. These penalties are going to add up at the moment. Granty is still at the points at the moment, as is Jonathan Cox then. But I think that this has been a great race, hasn't it? Laggy Racer is just in front of us at the moment. Oh, Wishbone's got very wide. That's on out. Murphy's got in the 4th position. He is up in the 4th now. He is up in the 4th. But oh my gosh, they're side by side. Emerson's got a penalty. That shouldn't affect him. Well, he's now got a 6-second penalty then. But look at this, Wishbone and Murphy are going side by side. Wishbone's got a very quick car, hasn't he? Over there, and now coming into the final corner, and Wishbone there just about keeping 4th position. When he got very deep, didn't he? 6.1 seconds the gap is now, but remember, Knowles has got penalties as well. So yeah, it's going to be definitely going to be solved by penalties. Question is Emerson just coasting, or is Knowles I think the Knowles might have the bit between his teeth, to be honest. Unfortunately, he's going to run out of laps, so I think in the battle for the lead, these guys might run out of laps as well. This has been fantastic, and Jonathan Cox and the Granty is out of the race, unfortunately. It's been a very difficult day for Granty, hasn't it? Of course, he's one of the 4 men that is fighting for the championship, and it's an unfortunate day to forget for Granty. He was 2nd in the championship moment, but he wasn't going to be able to stay for long, and he is out of the race. That is a big blow for Granty. And I think Sam has just mentioned in the comments that Laggy is Laggy. So, which he does, well, he's living up to his name, I suppose, isn't he? Now, this time, Wishbone does get his braking points exactly right. This is brilliant, absolutely brilliant stuff today. It's been a really good race, hasn't it? And I've been almost been lost for words at certain points. This has been fantastic, hasn't it? On board Silent Shift. Remember, he was the pole sitter, wasn't he? And it's just gone slightly wrong towards him. Nigel is also now starting. He's now also starting to struggle with the pace, isn't it? With the pace of the car, and he's now dropping off. So Murphy and Wishbone now starting to pull away at the moment. The gap of the friends down to 5.8 seconds. And I think this is the Wishbone and Murphy, and also Silent Shifting and Maxi is the closest battles on track at the moment. Yes, and Emerson has said that in the comments, Emerson will be top of the tree. He will be top of the championship at the end of this race. And that's exactly right, because Emerson has only started this race 5 points behind Favre. So this will be the first time this season that Favre will not be leading the championship, because remember, he won in Australia, he won in Bahrain, but then Silent Shifting, of course, won in China, didn't he, on his return? Brilliant pace from Silent Shifting. Really, of course, he had 2 races in ALR last season in Germany and Hungary, I think, and he had a very good podiums there as well. And then he returned. Look at this. We've got big old queue, haven't we, at the moment? And that's a laggy just in front of us. I don't think that's Dan Murphy. So then we had Silent who won in Silent who won in the Chinese Grand Prix. Then with Baku in Azerbaijan, we had Emerson turn up, rock up, and he won the race. He won the race in Baku. He won the race in Barcelona. In Monaco, Nigel returned to form and he won. So now back in Canada, Emerson is going to win his 3rd race of his career. Well, no, actually, hang on, hold that thought. We've got 6 more laps to go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But Emerson is on course to win his 3rd race of the season, his 3rd race of his career as well. Absolutely stunning form, isn't it? Remember, Nigel is the most successful ALR driver in history, but Emerson is closing in on it. Is now only like half the races behind Nigel at the moment. So I'm sure he's got another penalty. There's a lot of penalties flying about now. We've got blue flags also flying as well as they're coming through the traffic, I think, anyway. So let's just quickly take stock. Then we're on lap. As we're on lap 29 out of 35, as we're coming to near the end of the race, as this rain has been awful all the way through, all the way up and down. It's just been constant raining, hasn't it? It's just been absolutely appalling stuff. Emerson and Nosey, still a 6-second gap there. Nosey has been really eating that lead. He's dropped Favre, hasn't he? Favre is in danger. He will also be dropping. I don't think he will. Favre will still be 2nd in the championship, I believe. That is very quick maths, so do not take my word for that, because my maths is atrocious, absolutely atrocious. So we're Favre for 3rd at the moment. Then we've got Wishbone making his debut today. Absolutely phenomenal driver from Wishbone, brilliant. Dan in 5th position. Remember, he hasn't driven the car for a couple of weeks, has he? He's been on his adventures, hasn't he, Dan is, but he's come back here today. I reckon he just wanted to miss Monaco, really. Dan in 5th position now, and they're doing a good job there. Nigel in 6th position, Maxi on his debut as well in 7th position, Silent Shifting is 8th, and it's starting to really put pressure on. Remember, he was the pole sitter, Silent Shifting, having a miserable old day out there at the moment. Fire shot on his debut is 9th, Renzo in 10th position. Both racing points have basically been locked together throughout the race, haven't they? 11th position is Jonathan Cox, but Silent Shifted is through. Lovely on board shot as well, but look at this, he's coming back, he's got to be on the outside into the hairpin now, and look at this then, so as he comes down, move down on board with the Mercedes driver, and he's going to go on the outside. Nigel there is just in front of us. Is he going to go for the switchback? He is, but Silent Shifting's done a great job. He's parked in the middle of the track, and Maxi couldn't get the switchback on him there. Good driving there from Silent Shifting, and now they're coming up into the chicane now. Then you can see that Silent Shifting is gaining. He's going to defend on the inside, but Maxi's going to go on the outside. Oh, look at this there, a bit of contact there. Silent Shifting's got a 3-second penalty there, and now Maxi has got the momentum then, hasn't he? Look at this, and oh my gosh, this is incredible stuff. He's going to go into turn 1 on the outside there, but Silent will have the inside, but Maxi should have the inside for turn 2. Oh, contact, and oh dear, and now as Silent Shifting is through and up into 7th position. 8th position is Maxi. Dropped down to 8th position is Maxi, but it's been a very difficult day for all these drivers out there, hasn't it? Really has. It's been a stalemate at the moment. Really has. As so I'm up 31 out of 35. And oh, Grills is off. Grills is off for now the race. Is he gone? Is he is he retired from the race? I wonder if he's just called it a day here, rather than just on board with Emerson. And just to take a quick look, down to 5.1 seconds now. The gap is where I think Grills he might have just we're on board now, and I think he retired in the pits. So Grills did. So Grills having a difficult day on his return. He hasn't raced since Australia, has he? So yeah, and look, Nosey is now 5.1 seconds behind Emerson. Remember, this is going to be penalties pending, isn't it, in the final stage of the race? Wishbone's got a penalty as well, as Murphy's dropped back, so he's down to a second. Look at Nigel there, really close to the world champions there, isn't he? Probably taking his position as champion a bit too literally there, isn't he? As Grant has just I'll join the commentary. Was going to join the commentary for a quick chat. Definitely will. I would like to hear from Granty's opinion in Hoto. Yes, you're more than welcome to join. Then. So whilst we wait for Granty to enter the commentary box in the final stage race, we would like to hear what the trials and tribulations that Granty had issues with in this race, because Granty didn't really get going, did he, in this race? Very difficult race indeed. But some drivers do struggle in the wet, don't they? But was it a case of Granty struggling in the wet, or was it just or was there other issues in the car? So we'd like to hear that, wouldn't we? Because of course Granty is second in the championship at the moment, or wasn't he? But he's unfortunately this DNF today is really might really cost him. It's down to 4.3. It's down to 4.3. Then the battle here, and we've also got Jonathan Cox now all over the back of his teammate as well. It's in the final stage of this race. It's really getting a bit hot and sticky, a bit like me at the moment. Absolutely incredible stuff. Silent Shifting is now all over the back of Nigel. Silent Shifting has really started to oh, Nigel's gone. No, yeah, that's fantastic car control from Nigel. How did he keep it out of Silent Shifting? What a brilliant bit of car control there from Nigel. Oh, Silent Shifting's gone wide, and wow, Silent Shifting. Nigel, how did he keep out? And Farf has got 3-second penalty as well. Wishbone is now only 2 seconds away from Farf. Farf has really dropped off the pace, hasn't he, in the final stage of this race? Jonathan Cox is now only half a second back from his teammate. And remember, this is for the final point now, so every point does count. But yeah, Renzo's done a really good job today, hasn't he, to keep the caliber of driver like Jonathan Cox going. It's been very good. But the Irishman last, as I said, Monaco has just been phenomenal, hasn't he? Just take a look there. So at the moment, Nigel's dropping down now. He's slipping back. He's struggling, isn't he? Far Shot has also got a penalty as well. So in the final stage of this epic Grand Prix, look, there's Farf in the foreground there. But this is going to be penalty dependent, as it normally is in Canada, because Canada can be quite brutal on the penalty system, can it? And Nosey's now got a fast lap of the race. So Nosey is just rubber stamping how quick he is out there. He is flying. He's really turned up to this race, hasn't he? But I think he's going to run out of laps. It is all penalty dependent, isn't it? So yes, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat right until the very end then of this Canadian Grand Prix. Laggy Race has got a 3-second penalty there as he's down in 12th position at the moment. But remember, it's going to be it's not going to be about. I think that it's going to be very much like a traditional F1 race. Even though they cross the line in the order, it might not actually happen in the order. Here is Emerson. He is 3.4 seconds away. 3.4 seconds in front of Nosey at the moment. It's now 2.1 seconds as I struggled to finish that sentence. But to be honest, he has drove a phenomenal race. But I'm wondering if Nosey is just feeling more comfortable in the wet conditions. Is Nosey our rainmaster here? Well, he is looking very much like that at the moment, isn't he? Emerson on board, the race leader, the man who's going to go top of the championship if things stay as they are. There is Nosey in the background. Nosey is in the background. I tell you what, Nosey is it's down to 2.8 seconds. Look at it. It's going to be penalty dependent, but I think Emerson's only got 2 seconds worth of penalties. I think Nosey's got only 2 seconds worth of penalties as well. Last lap of the Canadian Grand Prix then. It's been awful weather conditions out there. Murphy's got a 3-second penalty as well. It's been awful weather conditions out there, but I'll tell you what, the race on the track has absolutely been hot, mesmerising, hasn't it? Of course, we had an epic race here last year, didn't we? Of course, the arrival of Nigel, and we had all sorts of shenanigans, didn't we, on this back straight here? Look, as Emerson is really pushing the car, I think, back on board down. Emerson's 2.6. There is the blue, well, the bluey coloured Toro Rosso of Knowlesy in the background there as well. I think Emerson's only got 2 penalties. I think Knowlesy's got two. I think Knowlesy's got more than 2, to be honest. This is getting very, very close, isn't it, in the final stages of the Canadian Grand Prix. Absolutely mesmerising driving from Knowlesy. Mesmerising driving. There he goes. There he is. And now coming into the hairpin now. Then it's going to be very, very tense, isn't it, as we come now. As you come across the line, remember it's all about the penalties, isn't it? It feels like Japan 1994, isn't it? In terms of I'm not sure who's going to be where at the end of the race. But Emerson comes through the final chicane for the final time, and he wins the Canadian Grand Prix. 3 wins out of 4 races. Fantastic. Knowlesy second. He did have more penalties in the end, but what a drive from Knowlesy. He really showed some pace towards the end. Farf is forward at the moment. Wishbone on his debut. It's third. Wishbone is third. Murphy is fourth. Farf has dropped down to 5th, and Farf, that's going to cost him place in the championship. And no, Nigel is 5th. Nigel's 5th. Fire Shot is 6th. Farf is down to 7th. It's all gone wrong. Silent Shifton's down to 8th. Maxi is in 9th position. Redden and Laggy finishes 12th, and Sam will finish 13th. Who is going to finish in the final points then between the 2 racing points? On board now, look in front, it's Renzo. You know, Renzo is who's going to get a point then between the 2 racing points? Renzo is 10th, and Jonathan Cox is 11th. Whew. Well, that was an interesting Sunday, wasn't it? Oh, and we've had all sorts of shenanigans. There is one of the Williamses has just flown across the wherever. As we've just got a couple of we just finished off the race then, and we'll get the guys in we need to speak to then. Wishbone on his debut making a podium, brilliant stuff. Knowlesy is the new Rainmaster, surely. But Emerson there, did he? I wonder how much time he lost earlier on for Knowlesy. Did that actually cost him? But before we get anyone in the commentary box, let's just quickly take a look at the final classification from the Canadian Grand Prix. This has really shook up the championship standings, hasn't it? Unfortunately, Farf for the first time is not going to be leading the championship. And oh look, those intermediate tires are basically balls. Emerson wins 3 wins from 4 races there, and other than that, he's been second as well. But I tell you what, the rivalry between him and Nosey is absolutely fantastic so far, isn't it? This could be a but we can't count out anyway. Wishbone getting 3rd position in his ALR debut as well. He was looking very good there, Wishbone, and he's definitely going to be a man to watch, isn't he? As I thought his road looked like Hulkenberg there. And let's just take a quick look at the final classification. And Knowlesy had 12 seconds worth of penalties. Emerson had 9. Emerson won from second on the grid. Knowlesy, an absolutely cracking drive. He gets also the fastest lap. Wishbone, his debut in 3rd position. Murphy from 8th to 4th. Brilliant stuff. Nigel in 5th position. Fire Shot, brilliant opening lap, was fantastic. Farf, very disappointed. Dave for Farf in 7th. Same for Silent Shifton in 8th. Maxi in 9th position. Renzo getting the final point. Outside the points is Jonathan Cox, Laggy, and Sam. Sam getting a good finish there. Brilliant stuff from Sam. Retirements: Grillsy, Granty, Hitman, McVicious, and Gooner all out of the race. And Mr. Elite unfortunately didn't make the start, which I feel really bad for him. I really do. Now then, whilst we're just loading up, let me quickly get in the Masters of Ceremony and driver PR and whatever other title names he has. Let me just quickly find him. I can't even remember what his name is, because he's changed his name more times than I've had hot dinners, and I've had a lot of hot dinners. Just if you especially if you ever had the unfortunate pleasure of meeting me. So I don't want to join the party. That would have been a bit awkward, wouldn't it? Hang on. As you can see, I use my PlayStation an awful lot, don't I? Still don't know how to use it. Terrible, isn't it? As let's just quickly get in and let's just quickly get in and the driver relations man. and that's Nosy then. So whilst we wait for Nosy to come in then, absolutely fantastic race here in Canada. It was a horrific, today it was awful for weather, wasn't it? Really was. It was absolutely atrocious weather conditions out there. I've never seen a race event where we've had rain basically all the way through. Absolutely fantastic. And Nosy has joined us in the commentary box now. And yes, so Nosy, do you want to select the drivers who needs to come in and have some interviews? We've got a couple of requests from Silent Shifting as well, if he wants to come and have a quick word as well. And also Granty wanted to come in as well. Yeah.
We'll do a couple of people, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. And whilst Nosy's doing that, let's just quickly check the comments, and of course I've got to check the comments because Ayrton's complimented me, so you know, and I always have to have I always have to yeah I always have to read out the good compliments. Yeah, and so Ayrton said amazing commentary once again. Silent Shifting's asked if we can join. Yes, we'll get you in. Nigel had some problems with the steering wheel. It looked like that at the end, and Jonathan Cox will be very disappointed because unfortunately for Jonathan, after all that practice, it came to nothing in the end, didn't it? Really, as just get these guys in as well. So we're gonna have a quick chat and see what they made of it all. And Nigel's put, hope it will be fine for next week. Hopefully it will be as well. Of course, next week we're in the French Grand Prix in Paul Ricard. I must admit, it's not a very good racetrack, is it? It's a brilliant test event, but not a very good racetrack, is it? But I think last season's race was phenomenal, wasn't it? In the wet, Mr. Elite really did absolutely phenomenal stuff. He was the Rainmaster, wasn't he? And talking of Rainmasters. Echo. It's
need to stream.
yeah, you don't want to hear me. Ugh. And anyway, Emerson, quality drive, but question I got to ask you first, was that your genuine pace towards the end? Because Nosy was catching you hand over fist. I thought you was in a bit of trouble there.
Yeah, I was trying to go as hard as I can. Well, I was kind of managing my fuel, but that was pretty much as quick as I could go at that time, yeah.
And to be honest, you look like you can control the race as well very nicely, and now you lead the Drivers' Championship. After only 4 races in this league, you've shot from nowhere to the top. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Now the pressure's on you. How are you going to handle that?
Well, hopefully carry on by winning races, I guess. Maybe get a pole position, finally. That would be helpful. But, yeah.
I know, I keep bringing that up. I'm so sorry, but I like my stats. But yeah, so that's the perfect answer as well. Absolutely fantastic drive. And yeah, so going on to the French Grand Prix in Paul Ricard, I must admit I'm not a fan of the track. What do you like about the French Grand Prix, if anything?
I don't like it. There's nothing I like about it.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, but congratulations today. Absolutely phenomenal drive. You controlled that from start to finish, more or less. A brilliant drive today, and yeah, looking forward to seeing you on track in a week's time. Excellent stuff. And coming to, I think Silent Shifting joined the party. Unfortunate today. Really, you had an absolutely mesmerising pole position lap. That was incredible stuff, really was. But unfortunately, didn't go very well on the race today. But we'll come on that in a minute. That qualifying lap was that nailed? Was it, or do you think you could go a bit quicker?
I pushed the car to the absolute limit. I tested it first with the first off time, and I told myself that I can push this car even further. And I don't know how it didn't get invalidated, but it didn't. That was a great lap.
I was going. You might want to have missed that part out. Don't worry, we've got good editing, guys. Knowles will edit out for you. But yeah, absolutely fantastic lap. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well for you in the race. Is it the rain? Is it? Do you just struggle in the wet, or was?
I really don't know. I had absolutely no pace in the race. I was a sitting duck from the start. I defended like crazy. It didn't help. I almost crashed a few times, hitting bars a few times, and yeah, I was just dead in the water, and everybody passed me. I gave up. I lost my wing a little bit. I pitted, and then I was just trying to catch up as much as I could, but the time penalties then finished me off.
Such a shame that is, really is. but at least you finished the race now. So surely this has to be momentum. Go, yeah, no, that didn't sound very good. But at the moment it was like it was either win or bust. But now you finished the race. How's that going to be going forward then? This is surely now momentum.
Yeah, that was kind of my main goal. Yeah, that was kind of my main goal when I noticed that everyone behind me was backing up and I had nowhere to be in the top 5. I just said to myself that I need to finish this race so I could have a good momentum for the front race. I have had a shit ton of DNFs and that's not good, and this is positive even though the 8th spot is not where I'm supposed to be in my opinion, but this is all I could do today.
It's a very tough league to be in now, isn't it? Absolutely great stuff. But congratulations to Emerson, congratulations to you, Silent. And let's come to Knowles as well. Knowles, I think you are our new Rainmaster. You've taken the crown off Mr. Elite. That was absolutely phenomenal driving towards the end. You was like a man possessed.
Yeah, the setup just clicked today. I don't know, I've never used it before, but played around with a few things when we started the quali session, and yeah, it all worked. So I think I was saying in the party chat during the race, I was saying if I could have got past fast and silent shifting earlier on than I did, I think I could have had a bit of a battle with Emerson, especially towards the end.
I was going to say it's becoming a bit of an epic rivalry between you and Emerson at the moment. You stole his first pole position off him in Baku, and then you had an absolute epic race in Monaco as well. And really today as well, you two were just you seem like to be in a class of your own, really. Looking forward to that going forward. And so going forward then, how are your championship aspirations then? Do you think you can beat Emerson?
It's a difficult one. Hopefully it rains a bit more. No, we can see what happens. But no, I don't think if the conditions suit Emerson, I think he's going to fly away with any race. I think.
To be honest, he does look very good wet or dry, doesn't he? Really, but absolutely stunning stuff. I'm really looking forward to more on-track battles with both of you guys as well. Unfortunately, at the moment, you don't have a race win, but your consistency is really it's really the thing that's keeping you in this championship hunt.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you've got to try and finish the race, haven't you? So that's what I'm trying to do every time. It seems to be working for now. So I thought there was a few times in that race where it could have ended in a wall, but it's always the same in those conditions, isn't it? So that's all right.
Absolutely epic stuff as well. Thank you very much, Nosey. And do we have anyone else in the party? Because I must admit, I've been looking up and down. I haven't really been looking at the screen. Did anyone else join?
No, not at the moment. No.
I think so.
Oh, we've got Laggy in here. Laggy, let's just quickly have a chat about your race then. Are you disappointed about that result in the end, or do you feel that rain races is not your strong suit?
I'm actually pretty happy with the race. The result is not good, but my pace was actually very good. I was catching the cars in front of me. I set pretty good lap times consistently, and actually when I was getting lapped, I had the feeling I was a bit slower than the leaders.
Ooh, so that's definitely good to build on then going forward. Then the next race is France, of course. We've to be honest, it's quite a negative view of the French Grand Prix track, but don't worry about that, folks. Last year's race was absolutely amazing stuff. So I would suggest you go back and watch it because it was brilliant. But yeah, in terms of the French Grand Prix, are you looking forward to that one next week?
Yes. It's my second favorite track, so I really look forward to it. I'm good on the track also, so I really like driving on there.
Well, so this is so that's going to be, we're very much looking forward to seeing where you can start in where you can finish in France next week then. Well, fantastic stuff, guys. Thank you all for joining me in the commentary box, and it's been an absolutely epic race today. I'd like to hear your thoughts as well about who was driver of the day and things like that. That was really, really good stuff. But remember, in a week's time, we're going to Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix. As I said, it's a very good test track, not a very good race track, but league racing is completely different, isn't it? And we're going to have some epic battles, aren't we? Especially down that long back straight. So That will be very intriguing. We got a new championship leader in the terms of the new boy. Only 4 races into his ALR career, and he's already top of the tree. Fantastic stuff. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what Emerson can do from there. Can Nosey match him? What about Farf? Is he going to be able to bounce back? And also, Grant had a very miserable race today. So we've got all sorts that's going to happen in the next few races. Well, for the rest of the season. Join us in France in a week's time. But for now, it's goodbye.